ですね。 Maybe now and then they come around. Little do I know about you now. Though I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to have you here, my dear. You don't need an invitation. I already know what you're saying. I love a little conversations, and I don't want you to go changing. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. I hope that you just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable, let's go. Feel so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold. Situation. We don't spend time hesitating, and I wouldn't say we're crazy in love. I would just say we're crazy enough. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. You just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable, let's go. Feel so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold. Slow it down. Jeans on when we hit the town. We don't really care who's around. But baby, I'm with you if you gon' be down. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. You just feel it all, you're just so comfortable. Cause girl, you're comfortable, it's just good. Feel so good just when I roll through. I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. It's true, and I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me catch you on the cold air. I don't know what you do. Yeah. Let me get you on a Kodak.
Hello and welcome back to Tranquility EU. Tonight is going to be a banger of a match. It is the semi-finals, I'll say it again, semi-finals of the Discord tier here in the EU. And it's going to be a clash of the century here because it's Deathwatch versus Mythical Kitsune. My name is Gio, I'll be casting for you today alongside Nightmare, and these teams have a little bit of a history.
Yeah, I mean, bit of an understatement. I feel like, that previous match, very close. As you can see, 3-2 in favor of Mythical Kitsune, which sent them on to the next round, where they eventually lost to Feeders United, who is waiting in the final for the winner of this series. So, Deathwatch, they have a bone to pick. They have some unfinished business. You see, they just destroyed their way through that lower bracket to get back to here. To get back to rematch Mythical Kitsune here tonight, and they're looking for some revenge.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be best of 7 banger between Deathwatch, a team in itself that was undefeated in the brackets in the regular season. Completely undefeated. No one touched them. No one could touch them. And then come into playoffs, all of a sudden blindsided by Mythical Kitsune, who took them out into the loser bracket. But finally, we're going to be getting into this one.
Yep, looking forward to it. Had a bit of delay with the patch coming out. Had to make sure all the players were ready, make sure no one was left behind. So we're back now. Patch there. So we're going to see how that impacts how these two teams are going to play. Pretty hefty changes in there. The main ones, obviously, Zarya, D.Va, not going to be as prevalent as they have been across across any situation, right? They were both incredibly strong picks, but you're not going to see them as often. Now I think these two teams are gonna have to stick with that monkey comp that have been such a commonly picked comp across the tournament. But I think the real issue is that it kind of hamstrings what these two teams can really go for, because you don't have that easily accessible counter pick in the D.Va and the Zarya anymore. They just aren't as good. They're just not. You can't go to them as conveniently anymore.
That's true, and as we head into Ilios, you'll be thinking, what will these teams be playing? Of course, there's a big novel ahead of us of a story. I think this one is going to go the distance, and if that goes the distance, it's going to be a long night, folks, of entertaining Overwatch. But I think my prediction is we will see lots of Banana Rush. If someone comes out here with some Roadhog, though, which is possible, we have seen that Roadhog's been quite playable. Kiriko kind of really enables them. That could really mess with things, because how prepared these teams are for this update is really going to be on display.
Yep. And you have to figure, if the Roadhog does get picked, that's going to put a ton of pressure onto the Reaper players of these teams, because they are essentially the only people in their comps who can effectively kill them. The amount of healing that Roadhog has available is the amount of inherent healing that Kiriko does as well. Like you said, the pick that enables the Roadhog. I mean, essentially makes them unkillable if that Reaper is prevented from accessing them. We'll have to see what they decide to go with. Oh, okay. They're teasing it. Well, I don't know if we're saying to actually go for it.
Oh yes, it's the clash of the comps we've just been talking about there.
But we've been baited before. We'll have to see what they will come out with.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, looks like they're going for it. They're going with that Roadhog. Okay, so eyes on Overmars. What can they do? Can they kill Bojack? That's going to be the real question here.
Yes, it is. A dive coming in there from Ronan onto the Kiriko, and that's exactly who you want to get out of the equation. Ronan dies for it. Without that Kiriko, Roadhog becomes a lot more vulnerable. Not if he gets a hook like that, as Bojack takes Meowth out of the equation completely, as they have good control of this point, and they are having some issues there, but they will be getting the point. I think Deep looking for a boop. I'm not quite sure who's down there, but Overmars will get taken out again by Bojack. Ronan returning to the fray. A little late though, the point has switched. Can they get this fight turned around and the point turned around? It's going to be a little difficult. Both Kiriko's back in this one here, in this fight. The Disruptor Field coming out, dealing a lot of damage there. This one is so back and forth, Nightmare.
Yep. You see the fight still going on, but all the while the progress is ticking up in favor of Mythical Kitsune. Deathwatch not been able to swap it over. Delicious in the middle of the whole fight, trying to get the damage down. We're right for him back out. Ronan, he's been on this point for so long, but he cannot do anything. The Roadhog gets the hook, cannot get the kill though. And it comes out from Bojack. Oh, he's got a ball trap in the corner, Geo. Oh, is it going to be a massacre? Oh
An
no.
absolute slaughter at the end with that whole hog. And the whole time, you're right, they had the point.
Deathwatch never able to get it over. They just spent all that time fighting that point only for Mythical Kitsune's benefit. That went about as poorly as it could have for Deathwatch.
Oh, brother, yeah, Deathwatch. I think are on the wrong side. I'm pretty sure Pingu is a Deathwatch player, but oh, UBL taking out this one, eliminated. That's gonna be tough for the re-engage here for the team in red, whoever they may be. Skilicious gonna find the opposing Reaper, and that's gonna be cleaned up again.
Yeah, they swapped onto the Orisa, but just gets melted by the Reaper. Oh, I don't think that's the. I don't know if that's the pick. I understand the pick. I understand the pick. It's, you know, Orisa, not the worst pick ever into the Roadhog, but you're just completely ignoring the fact that Reaper is gonna melt right through you. Probably even faster. The EMP comes out. Poor man. Can he get with it though?
EMP's a massive there, coming into the Kitsune rush also, but that beat's going to really sustain them, and you see it does not matter, their health pool is being torn down there. Doesn't matter what you bring out against that EMP, still very strong despite the nerfs against Sombra. Bojack going down, and yeah, I was talking out of my backside, that is Mythical Kitsune, and they are coming back into this one.
Yep, huge from Meowth. You see them actually quick at the pick on the deep here. Gonna buy some time, that's big. Because that's all Deathwatch need. They just need time. Let that point tick up. Give yourself a chance in this point. That was a huge ult from Meowth, really saving that round for their team. And they do have the Orisa and the Reaper ults. Very big, very impactful. We'll see what they can do. Actually, really nice combo. We'll have to see. I'll keep an eye on Romy, see if they can clean it up. Oh, his overmatch goes down! Oh no!
Yeah, that big combo won't happen if you get taken out early, but
he walk into it.
Yeah, the Terror Surge actually finds Tooth there. That's actually a rare good Terror Surge there. Still finding issue with the cleanup, but they are going to keep control by 1 pixel. It was so close to being swapped.
That's a critical mistake there. From the Kiriko and from the Soldier. They walked back into it. I'm pretty sure they were not within the radius initially. And they might have just got too close trying to finish the kill before they were able to get the ult off, but no, they just ended up dying. That could be huge for Deathwatch. Omar still has that ult.
Yeah.
Bojack got stuck. Bojack stuck.
Oh, Bojack out of position completely there. Got a little stuck on the part of the map. Now you see Deathwatch just backing up here. Sorry, Mythical Kitsune backing up here.
They only have, I believe that's Skilicious' ult is the only one they're gonna have before this point is over. We see Meowth has the EMP back. Overmatch still has the Reaper ult. They've been holding on to it for quite a while. Oh, there it is!
There it is. It's huge. It's going to find Tooth there. Critically finding the Kiriko. And with the 90% mark, can Mythical Kitsune really find another touch? It's going to be difficult, especially with Bojack having an issue here. Deathwatch have been able to sweep this back into their favor on Ilios. As you see, the desperate touches coming out here. If Skilicious could get back, it could be interesting to see if they can get a good ult off. And they find UBL, but they don't find the point.
Wow. Man, I hope this is a sign of things to come, because we just had a 99% to 100 on the very first point, on the very first map of this series. And there was a really interesting story there. Mythical Kitsune, it looked like they had the better in those full-on 5v5 team fights, but Deathwatch were so much better at capitalizing on the individual mistakes that were coming through on the side of Mythical Kitsune. We saw Pingu, we saw Romy getting caught in Ronin's ult. That 2 huge mistakes, got punished in that fight. Then Bojack getting caught out on the Winston, dies, held back the team even further. And that last desperate attempt at a touch from Mythical Kitsune that effectively lost on that point. So
Yeah.
if they really need to start cleaning up these individual mistakes, or this series could end up running away from them very quickly.
Absolutely. You see Meowth in position there with... Oh, off the map, actually. A bit too far forward. Gets the hack onto the Roadhog there. Could open up an advance here. Of course, that Kiriko is going to be tough, but Overmars finds the opposing Kiriko there as Overmars cleans this fight up on the push, but
We got TP
off
back
the
on.
map. Actually TP'd back in time. Overmars was off the map and saved himself.
Man, I actually wasn't sure if they actually had the time to get that TP off, but just barely keeping themselves in it. But before that point, Overmars destroying that point.
no.
Oh, Meowth gets a bit too far ahead of themselves there, I have to say. And caught out. Not really something you see typically see happen to a Sombra, but we'll get punished
Yeah.
on that one.
Meowth getting a little too catty, got caught out. Bojack actually on Zarya, despite the nerf to Zarya. Bojack maybe just feels comfortable on the hero, but Overmars feels a little too comfortable on the Reaper, man. Absolutely tearing them apart here. Gets the differential into Skillius there. Now following up onto Bojack, who has increased cooldown on those bubbles. That's going to be a very key issue for the side of Kitsune if they continue to play this. Nice big rush here by Ronan. Needs to be careful that they don't overextend, but they have a pretty solid control right now.
Yep, and right now Mythical Kitsune need some form of answer to Overmars on this Reaper. They've been just doing so much work. Every fight is with them at the front, doing so much damage, getting the picks, and Kitsune just have no answer for it right now.
Yeah, that's the issue. Kitsune Rush comes
There you go,
out.
there's the answer right there.
Yeah. Kitsune Rush B comes out also, but this is a huge Terror Surge. Good find the Lucio. Actually, yeah, no one's going to get found by that. It's tough to get that Terror Surge off. It does build them in, but not quite too well. Now the advance here by Mythical Kitsune is Bojack now on the Winston this time, finding what tank suits, like Goldilocks, but with, not porridge, but with tanks. Finding which one is just right.
Yep. Very struggling, but it looks like the Winston has been the fallback answer for them in these last few points. Smart from Pingu and Uomi, fixing those mistakes, not walking back into the Terror Surge, not going down, not costing the team to fight. So already seeing subtle improvements there from the side of Mythical Kitsune. Always a good start, but the EMP is going to be coming in here.
Yeah,
By the way, we're already over for that point though.
Speaking of, the rush comes out, but it's a 5-man EMP into a Blossom. Actually only finds Kiriko. That could be big enough, but Skilicious comes back into it. A triple kill of the Blossom, turning it all around on its head. Nice hold in there by Mythical Kitsune. They were all EMP'd there, Nightmare, but they still held in.
Yeah, I think the thing was that when they came out, I think it was just a bit late to fully capitalize on the EMP. They were all able to get back, use their abilities. You saw the Winston all come out. I think, like you said, Overmar's only able to get one pick. Well, it wasn't enough. And then Skilicious, who survived the initial ult with Rage Form, come back with their own. Overmar's had no answer. Now Mythical's doing right back into this point. He comes out, see what they can do.
Yeah, aggressive beat there for the engage. Skilicious goes low, reforming out, that's an opportunity. Terror Surge is ready for Ronan. We've seen it be big and we've seen it not find anything, but Pingu locks and loads with the railgun, finding UBL. That's healing and speed gone. Terror Surge almost cancelled there, but the follow-up is going to be there onto the Orisa. Too much damage coming out from the Sojourn, who was not nerfed in this patch, and it's beginning to be very clear.
Yep. So we spent so much time focusing on the Reapers so far in this series, but I mean Sojourn just as much of a threat if left unanswered, and Pingu showing exactly why. He's landing those headshots, doing so much damage, completely uncontested in that fight as well. Showing why that character really should have been nerfed in this patch as the last Desperate Touch attempts to come in here.
Yeah, it comes out, but
Overmar's done that
Pingu,
already.
like we're just talking about, the Sojourn on the flank here, actually behind them, found the railgun shot onto Overmars, and that's going to be a big issue for the side of Deathwatch. They've used that Kitsune Rush, but how much is it really going to work against the team that's called Kitsune? It's, well, not so much. Yeah, they're all falling like flies. A great position there by Pingu, and that's going to bring Ilios equal.
Yeah, exactly like you said. It was really smart positioning from Pingu, holding that high ground on closer to Deathwatch's spawn. Well, Deathwatch, because of what the percentage of the point was for Mythical Kitsune, they had to just throw themselves at that point to force the overtime, and their entire team having to touch the point. Pingu, like you said, just left completely unanswered in the back line, and you just cannot let that happen. Circumstances forced it, but that you will get punished if that happens, and Pingu properly punished them for it. And we're going to point 3. It's all to play for, and this series already just could not be closer.
5,
Yes, as we go to well, there's a Roadhog on the field. You have to think, is there going to be any hooks into that well? It could be something to look out for.
Yeah, go back to Winston. Looks like that's been the go-to answer. Bojack just defaulting back to Winston when the other tank picks have not quite worked out. Skalicious in the back.
Oh,
Back now.
yeah, forced out there, but still in danger. As you see, Ronan just charging forward. They're being very aggressive with the Orisa, and that's exactly what you need to do to get the value out of them. I think Deathwatch have played the best Orisa that I've seen here in Tranquility or in EU at all. Bojack is going to find Meowth there, but I think the damage is already done to Kitsune as Deathwatch clean up and get control.
Yeah, I think they were fully capitalizing on Skalicious not having Rage Form available, knowing that the Reaper can't just afford to just stand straight in front of your team. Having that safety net of the Rage Form there meant that they could just push forward unabashedly and without fear of being punished by the Reaper. So really smart play there.
Absolutely.
Now found that again.
Yeah, Meowth having a tough time now. I mean, Sombra was nerfed. Rico was not. Well, a little bit was, but it's going to
knock.
over Mars. Finds the headshot onto Skalicious. You see that neutral game. Over Mars is so keen with those Hellfire shotguns. Plays those corners quite well, and this is looking quite good for the side of Deathwatch right now.
Yep, I think it's just it's been a really deciding factor so far in this series is that Overmars has repeatedly gotten the better of Skalicious in the Reaper 1v1, and given how much damage the Reaper is in part of these comps, losing that first in every fight is so detrimental to your cause. And really, Skalicious needs to find some sort of way of getting the better of Overmars, otherwise they could really end up fighting them here.
Rush coming in, yeah, the Javelin finding Wumi, so the response will not be available at 97% is when they lost it. Skalicious getting forced out there by Ronan. Only one elimination, but again, it's all about building that percentage.
Yep, and I tell you, this next fight is going to be explosive. Nearly every single ultimate up except for Iceberg, Kitsune, Rush. And I think they're all going to be used here in this next fight. This comes out with their ult. Oh, Ronan!
Oh my lord! Out of all the ultimates to get the value, it's the Terror Surge. Hello? Ronan absolutely tearing up the field. This Orisa gameplay is showing that Orisa is viable. Look at that. Bojack King Konging across the skies, finds him Overmars with a triple kill and a fourth. A 4K for Overmars. Can they get the fifth? No, Ronan will steal it. Deathwatch at the end look unbeatable.
Back-to-back 4Ks to finish off that map. Talk about securing it in style. Overmars and Ronan popping off at just the right moment. Wow.
I was saying that, yeah, this is going to be that Terror Surge that we saw. Out of all the ultimates available, I was not expecting the Terror Surge to be the one. It was actually the EMP that enabled it. Yeah.
Yeah, the EMP. I was wondering because I thought Ronan had used the old Very. I did not recharge up that long to get that triple kill. I didn't see that the EMP took down those health bars just enough to allow Ronan to do that. That is fantastic synergy between Effect CVS and the tank. That was incredible to see there. What a way to finish off that point.
Absolutely, and we started to see there why they were playing the Sombra so much, despite the nerf. I mean, that just goes to show how strong Sombra was, that even after this nerf still getting played, which is funny. But, you know, Deathwatch now coming into this one looking strong. Well, was not as back and forth as the rest of them. Could that be showing that Deathwatch are on a march, a momentum move?
I think they really did end up. I think they really found their answer towards the back end of that map. You know, they were struggling on that first point. You know, like I said, at that point in time, it was really only mistakes on the individual mistakes on the side of Kitsune that allowed them to take it. But on that second and third point, I feel like they really did start finding their groove. really did find Ronan on the Orisa was just impeccable. And now, now all of a sudden, not something that we really foreseen, right? We did not predict that an Orisa would come up at all, let alone be as good as it was. So now it's all on the side of Kitsune. Can they find an answer? You know, it's because with Scalicious constantly being beat by Overmars in this Reaper matchup, that is not an option. That is not the go-to answer for killing the Orisa that we thought it would be. So
Mhm.
Kitsune need to come up with something else.
Yeah, I definitely will say that in your scrims and in your coaching sessions, you're probably not preparing to face an Orisa. Because the idea has been like, oh, she's a pub stomper, not very good in organized team play. You can just go around her and kill her allies. But the way that they're playing it, Death Watch are living up to their name. They're just deathballing it. They're going in hard and strong, and it's really playing well into how Ronan is utilizing the cooldowns of Orisa to stay alive. So it'll be interesting to see how Kitsune in this series adapt to that. It's a best of 7, so there's plenty of time.
Yep, only map one. Well, I think the problem for Kitsune is they probably really should feel like that first map should have gone to them. You know, especially when you consider how that first point that went. You know, had that 99%, let it slip, and if they just held on, you know, they would have been the ones taking Ilios, and probably would feel a lot better about how the series would be going.
Yeah. Well, on to Parisio now, from the nice Greek shoreline to Rio de Janeiro. Parisio has a bit of an interesting first point nightmare, where it's quite a it's quite like a hard choke to get through, and then there's like lots of high ground around the point. How do you think these teams are going to be playing into Parisio?
I kind of feel like it's going to be a lot of the same that we're kind of already seeing. You know, a lot of the Winston, you know, maybe the Orisa. I think the main focus is really going to be on those Sojourn players because, like you said, a lot of high ground and a lot of long sight lines to land those headshots. You know, really can be difficult to dislodge them. You know, and I think that particularly the defending side, Sojourn, really going to benefit from on his high ground. I mean, you see there that one long road. How many times do you see Sojourns just out in the high ground, and you know you struggle to deal with it? So I wonder if that's going to be the job of Meowth to, and on the Sombra to try and sniff out, get that Sojourn out from that position to
Yeah.
allow the rest of Death Watch to take better fights for them.
Yes, and in the sights of our Lord and Savior, these teams will be facing could be Kitsune's time to equalize, or will Death Watch walk away with it?
My Lord and Savior in the strongest form possible, the T-pose, the
Yeah,
ultimate form.
just like Ash, just like Ash. It looks like
Oh yeah,
Roadhog.
yeah. Back on the Roadhog. Interesting. I mean, they tried this a few times. Didn't really work out
5,
very often. And I thought they were more comfortable going back onto the Winston, but
attackers incoming.
you know we'll see how it goes.
End objective A.
And like you said, like I saw the Winston back very good because it lets you get onto that high ground, try and dislodge those defenders. As Lucio kind of be aggressive. Actually, looks like they might be trying to take the low ground, the first low ground and then jumping up onto the high ground.
Oh, I think maybe utilizing a distraction by Meowth, who is what's happening? What's just happened? Blizzard? Can we get Can we get medical in here, please? What?
Rip.
Well, small indie company.
Yeah, small indie company. Yeah,
Oh,
it's their first
brother.
it's their first major game. You got to give them a break.
And it's like, it's not like they've just had a massive influx in money or anything that they could use to fix some issues or hire some competent people to fix
No,
those issues.
no,
Oh, brother.
that's never been their MO.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get back into the map. It's gonna be a restart because I think I think we went back to lobby there. So we're just gonna check if the players are feeling good, if the if it feels stable, and we'll get back into this one. The gods themselves looking to intervene here.
Yeah, the T-pose is a bit too strong.
Yes.
They might not want to cut back to that one when we come back in.
Yeah, Jesus wasn't happy with what we were talking about there.
He's a Genji main. Didn't like the new patch.
Oh, Jesus is a Genji main. That's funny. Yeah.
We'll just see. I wonder if I mean it's very unlikely, but there is always a possibility that they might change up what they're doing. Having seen what the other is going. I don't think they will. I feel like they're all pretty resolute in their strat. They're all pretty confident how they want to play. But something to consider might be something that they try. But I guess we want to talk about the. I guess we can talk about the Roadhog, right? Because we were discussing in the, while we were waiting to get the stream started about the possibility of Roadhog coming up, and I think it had differing levels of success. I think initially when Deathwatch hadn't seen it coming, it worked well. I mean that first few fights went pretty well, especially when the Ohog came out. Did a ton of work, especially when you get them in those corners. There's just really very few escapes. But as the map went on, got less and less, had a lot less effectiveness. So you have to wonder what's the real strat here, because they don't seem fully behind the idea. It's not like it's something they really want to stick to. It's almost like picking like Widow. You try it for the first minute and a half, see how it's going, and then you just kind of swap off if it's not working. It's weird.
It could be very much monkey see, monkey do, because we've seen the Roadhog in open division, we've seen it work well, and I think we will see one thing different because there was a Ana instead of a Kiriko on Deathwatch's side, but no, that looks to continuing. Yeah, that seems to continuing be their pick. Okay, it's a little brave considering that Kiriko can just wipe out anything Ana does.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something you play around, but if you can force out that ability for, having something big like, I don't know, say an EMP, for example, then that's just, nothing but value, Well, we did discuss the idea of an Ana being picked into the Roadhog. I mean, with how unkillable you can seem to be, that anti-nade can do so much work. And you already see it coming out, Bojack chipped down to half. Ronan gets picked off.
Yeah, Pingu finding that railgun shot there. Overmars though equalizing, but Deep will find Iceberg. It's a back equalizing here. Yeah, this is messy for the defense. This isn't what they want to happen here. They've actually lost a tick as well. And you see, they're playing quite well because they waited for that bell to come out from Kiriko, and then they threw the anti-nade onto the Roadhog. Now Ronan looking to advance here. Needs to be careful. It's a big old open space through there, and if you get hooked into it, it's a disaster. Actually going to dodge the hook. Nice push, and that's that bell used again. Now the anti-nade could get value. You see the hack coming onto the Roadhog there. Now Skalish is kind of threatening the backline. Meanwhile, Deep has been javelined into the corner and bullied by Ronan, who continues to be a very aggressive Orisa, and it's working out so well. Pingu actually gets the escape there. There could be a recontest. It might be difficult. Holehog comes out but gets taken out, and it's roast pork for dinner.
I really like what Deathwatch have been doing, playing around the bell from the Kitsune. Sorry, Kiriko. They're chipping down Bojack on the Roadhog to basically essentially force it. They don't want to use any abilities. They just chip him down and force that invulnerability out, and then that's when they start using their utility to try and finish it off. And that worked to perfection. You see Bojack already swapped back off the Roadhog, back onto Winston. It's like basically what I was saying, you use it for that first minute and a half, see how it goes, and then you swap off, and now Winston is stuck in a corner. Why are you in the building? You're playing Winston!
Bojack
you can't jump in the building!
Completely bullied there by the Orisa, using that javelin to just keep them in the corner. And Deathwatch are on an absolute death march right now. Overmars goes low, pulls the overclock, is taken out by Deep. Overmars did not get what they wanted there, but Yumi caught out again by Ronan there. Deep has gotten so many picks there. You're absolutely right in this fight. Absolutely popping off for the defense here. And getting the boost as well. Oh, wow. Deep really coming up big for their team.
Yeah, saved that there. Pingu will steal that kill in the end, but we know who that really went to. What? Bojack. Bojack needs to get it together. That is, we've seen this a few times now. Bojack on his Winston, getting caught out, being in positions that a Winston really should have no reason to be in. You know, why are you in that small building as a Winston when your main escape ability cannot be used? You're just going to get punished when you get caught out like that. Speaking of getting caught out, here's Meowth. Ready for the EMP. Oh, nope, just get caught out though.
Oh, goes for it anyway, and that's actually going to cancel. The Terror Surge EMP combination. Deathwatch have got this down to a T, and I absolutely love it. It's such a strong combo, and they're using it so well. 3 minutes on the board as they swing it, possibly to control that second point.
Yep, you've never seen a Terror Surge be so effective as it has been in the hands of Ronan with Meowth backing them up. It's just so much damage, such an easy combo to pull off as well. So they are going to try and reach that beat, comes out. Oh, the Lucio got cancelled.
Yeah, the beat from Deathwatch got completely cancelled there. Now the Kitsune Rush is going to get all the value that it can. Meowth, there's no way this happens. There's no way this happens. This doesn't happen. Okay. I was going to say it's the semi-finals. There's no way that happens.
I think it would have happened. I think Meowth pulled the trigger too soon. Because you saw Pingu had already kind of been looking back on that point. If Meowth had just waited like half a second more, I think they would have actually gotten that.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah, I had to respect the attempt. If Pingu knew it was going to happen, Meowth's going to go for it again.
Well, Bojack jumping in behind. Has the Primal Rage. That's why they've went so deep. And yeah, it's going to find Overmars. Yeah, very good play there by Bojack, kind of baiting them into the idea that maybe he's overextended, but then utilizing that Primal Rage. Very nicely done. Defense, they're getting it together. Maybe Meowth is playing for the C9 a bit too much.
Yep. Maybe just feel like that. Oh no. Oh, deep again. Yeah, Meowth's playing too much around. The points regress too far. They're just not possible to get that C9 right now. So you're essentially just feeding over kills. You're wasting more and more of your time bank. Going for a C9, that's not a possibility. You know, you don't have that. Oh, you're not setting up for some sort of team fight engage. I think you're just trolling.
Well, they're going to be rotating here, this time switching onto the Winston, but I don't know where Ronan ended up, but it wasn't where they wanted to be. Now the defense kind of utilizing this high ground nicely. Bojack finding Overmars, but the Sojourn of Kitsune is in trouble, is going to go down, but Skalicious finding UBL. Yeah, now it's really working out well for the Mythical Kitsune side, as they're really holding down the fort on second point. It's basically last fight territory now.
Yep, and you look, but no, Deathwatch, I do have some very nice ultimates up. And you know, Ronan no longer on the Orisa, it's on the Winston, so you're not going to have that combo that's been working so well for them. But I think the ultimates that they do have, that's perfect. That's just enough to win any fight, really. Yeah. It's all going to depend on what Meowth can do, and they've done a lot so far.
There it is, the MP finding free. Deep goes down, but Skalicious actually equalizing there, finding Overmars there with the Blossom. It's still 4v4 here in this fight, but Bojack finding UBL. Now the attacking team, they're in a lot of trouble. That Kitsune Rush not finding the value that it wanted. Now the defense of Mythical Kitsune using their namesake now. Bojack finding Iceberg. Bojack has really stepped up here as the Winston. Pingu finding Meowth with that keen headshot, but Overmars with this overclock could find something, but that bubble is going to cause issue. Skalicious finding Ronan, and there it is. It's the second point that they're not going to be able to get there, holding in the streets of Parisium.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider how those first initial fights were going, it really felt like Deathwatch were on the march for a 3-point take, but ended up getting stopped right before that second point. And Kitsune now in a very good position to tie up this series. And I think if there's one thing we really learned off of that defense is Bojack, Roadhog, not the pick. Just isn't it. Just stick to the Winston. stick to, I think, anything else. Just don't go back to that Roadhog.
Yeah, Bojack, really found a lot of value there at the end with Winston really showing their prowess on the character, and I think they can really lean into that, as Deathwatch seemed to really have no answer.
I think
There's
a
no
big
way.
thing was Overmars no longer on that Reaper. I think freed up Galicious on that Reaper to finally have some more of that impact we know that character can. Because that was a major thing on map 1 was Overmars on the Reaper constantly getting the better of Galicious, effectively removing Galicious from most fights. And with Overmars no longer on that pick onto the Sojourn to accommodate Meowth on the Sombra, it freed up. There's an unintended side effect. It freed up Galicious on the Reaper. So,
1.
maybe an
Meowth.
unintended side effect. Yeah, they are.
Meowth is late. Meowth is late to the fight. It's all the way back at spawn, just switched, and they have a Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion.
This is bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
very
well,
bad.
the
Okay,
back
Meowth
side.
is back. Well, we'll see what they. I mean, there's a Bastion. There's a Bastion picked here, Gio. They actually ducked it in.
Bastion in that form there, the Gatling gun form, is now going to go for an extended flank here. Didn't find anything with that Gatling gun. Now Ronin on the point, Pingu finding Iceberg, but it is swapped over. Mars gets that equalization there. They don't have that keen healing though, so they have to be careful with the damage that they take. But Scalicious, you can't be fading into a Bastion like that, son. It's not going to work out for you. Attacking team finding some issue, but with the Bastion now eliminated, it's a big opportunity here. Bojack going down though creates an opportunity for the defense to hold in here. They still have their tank in this one. There is a tick that has been achieved by the side of the Mythical Kitsune.
Again.
Oh.
How does he keep doing this? I would say I actually kind of like the Bastion pick into the Winston. The whole idea of Winston is that he has to be in your face to get that damage off, but in his face is exactly where Bastion wants it to be. And you see there, Bojack goes down to the Bastion.
Yeah, you don't expect that amount of damage. You need to be careful when you're playing against the Bastion, and Scalicious getting out here could be a bit of a pipe dream. You see Deep going in to help them. UBL backing up, I think playing quite away with the Iceberg for the peel, but it doesn't matter if Pingu eliminates them from a distance. Looking to get that second tick here. UBL coming out with the beat, only really gets themselves and the Orisa. The MP coming out though from the defense. That could be what's big here, but Pingu doesn't care. Pingu is absolutely dominating the field with this overclock. Deep again in the kill feed. Such a DPS support lineup for the side of Kitsune.
Yep, and that's the problem with the Bastion to deal with the Winston, is that you left Pingu completely unchecked on the Sojourn, and Pingu has already punished you for doing that, and punishes them again. And Overmars, gotta be careful. Reaper right in your face. No, I'm not entirely sure you win that that DPS battle between the Reaper and the Winston in your face, but ult comes out. I think the worst ultimates in the game.
Yeah,
Showing why and did anything with it.
It's a very movement-based comp that Kitsune are on, so to actually get one of them would be actually probably impossible.
Yeah. I think you have to combo with an EMP really, but careful!
Oh,
That's not,
yeah, going down.
Why are you there?
You don't want to face tank against a Bastion in that configuration form because it's just going to burn you down. Meowth is Scalicious there. Now you see the defense kind of holding in anti-nade onto Bojack, but will get back in time. Meowth playing very aggressive to build that EMP.
Yep, because that's going to be the real clutch thing they need, because they don't really have anything else. They have the Ana boost, but there's not really many great targets. It's just the Orisa really. Bastion, I mean, you could do the Bastion, but I don't know how effective that's going to be if they don't have that turret form up. Iceberg picking them out over there. Okay, but there is a Bastion.
Nano Bastion, it's a lot of damage, but that was a very good move there by Deep to get them off the high ground. Damage has been done, but Scalicious looking to turn it around with a double and a triple now. Scalicious completely turning on its head again. This player is absolutely nuts on the Reaper.
Yep, and this is what I mean. Scalicious has been...
Skill battle. Oh, Deep gonna back up from it. Oh, gets hacked up as well.
That's ruining the support of combat there. really a shame. But 2.5 minutes, and Kitsune are coming up onto that point. Bojack has the ult. See what they can do. EMP comes out, 3-man.
Yeah, finds 3 of them. We're only going to go down immediately there. But Bojack coming up big by the iceberg. Pengu on the overclock as well, dealing so much damage. There's so much damage they can't deal with it. And Meowth in the backline gets booped by Deep, and that's going to be the equalization here in this series as we are now 1-2-1.
Yep, I have Geo. I think we have a series on our hands.
Oh, do we? Oh, here's Bojack, who played. I wanted to, like, you don't give, like, an MVP for a map, but Bojack really came up big here on the defense with this Winston pick. Such a good bait play here with the Primal Rage. Just such nicely done. Nicely done.
I mean, that almost played into the fact that Bojack had been repeatedly caught out in those exact positions. No, not having ult. So almost like, oh no, I'm trapped in here with you guys. Oh no, it's a disaster, and then pulls out the ult and gets the 4K. You know, it's the perfect bait. But really well played, really nice hold initially to allow for that attacking round to succeed as well as it did. And now that watch, they have to start asking the questions. There's no questions. Do they really need try these, more interesting comps like with the Orisa, Sombra, and allow the DPS of Kitsune to have as much range as they did on that second map, and hope that that watch can just outplay it? Or did they go back to what they were doing on Ilios, go back to the Reaper Sojourn that was working so well, where you were just effectively shutting out the DPS on the side of Kitsune, and hope that continues to work? So we're going to have to wonder what watch are going to go for here.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're picking your next map, you have to be considering these things and what's working for Kitsune, what's working for yourself. There's a lot to consider here, as we're really just at the beginning here, because 1-1, a team needs 4 to win. So we're really at the foundation level of this series, which, I mean, anyone could predict it going the series, the whole way. And, well, off to the races, because Circuit Royale is up next.
Yep. And, I mean, I'm not sure what the general consensus is, but I actually personally quite like this map. I think it's probably among, my own favorites in terms of the new ones that came out. That might just be me, honestly. I know what some people think about that first high ground. I just enjoy playing it, but I understand that's just me. I know that first high ground, not the first high ground, the second high ground, around where that first point is captured, can be quite annoying to take. But
yeah, I know Crumble agrees with you. Crumble likes this map a lot.
Maybe I'm in the wrong then.
Oh, what are you about to say? Maybe we've got the wrong character tail to cast with. Insulting.
No, I mean, I think I might be wrong. If Crumble's agreeing with me, in my opinion, might be correct.
Okay, that's funny.
So it looks like we're going to be seeing a swap inside that watch. They're subbing out Ronan to bring in Termi.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. I didn't think Ronan was playing poorly at all.
It could just be a hero pool thing.
I think it could just be. I mean, it could be comping, but bringing in the players specifically to play Zarya on a patch where she was just nerfed and nerfed heavily is an interesting decision. Actually, you see Mei as well. So a lot of interesting things being put out.
Yeah, the new character Mei here being played.
New character Mei being brought out here. I'm not sure we know too much about how she works, but
sleep onto Bojack could be a big opportunity, as only one side has the Rico. It is Death Watch, and that's a lot of damage. Meowth will be forced out. Immortality Field already coming out there by Wumi, but it is going to work out in their favour as Pingu finds
nice
elimination there onto Overmars. Yeah, that wall's very keen. Mei, she can't freeze anymore, but it's still so much damage with the icicles and the primary fire.
Yep, you may not be able to freeze anymore, but I think just the slowing down is just enough when you got a Reinhardt charging in behind to follow up on it. Look at Bojack's old charge compared to pretty much anyone else in the game. Can you tell just how well that combo is working out?
Against
got the shatter.
against this new Zarya. Reinhardt's looking very strong with that bubble gone. It could be a shadow right into the backline. Finds both supports. Absolutely outstanding by Bojack there. Yeah, they're completely outpacing the Zarya, and the new Zarya just can't handle it.
No, I mean, Reinhardt, when they're in those kind of fights, has always been one of the fastest ults to get in the game. But, my god, Bojack's got that so fast. And the great thing about that was, they didn't have to overcommit to that fight because they didn't have anything else to commit to it.
Another big wall, yeah. These players haven't played with Mei in their games for quite some time, so they're not used to getting walled off. They're playing a little too far forward. But that window, that's really going to play well, especially if a railgun shot through it, finding UBL. And Overmars, this Glitches shows us that they're not just a Reaper player, but the Sojourn character works pretty well for them as well. Disruptor shot comes out and they clean up the attacking team. Deathwatch are having some issues.
Yeah, that's to say the least. And I think maybe an unintended side effect of this comp that Kitsune are running here is the walls coming out from Mei make it so there's a lot of people in a very small space. So the Baptiste AoE healing is getting so much value.
Very true. Oh, the blizzard from behind! But yeah, there's that Kitsune, that protection Zuzu coming out. But doesn't matter, Bojack cleaned them up, and wow. May as well be a mob that he's holding, never mind a hammer.
Yep, this is just an absolute massacre. We are watching the death of Deathwatch right now, and it is not an appealing sight if you're a fan of it. But you see, I mean, what did Deathwatch do here? You have the ult. If it's only the Zarya, you don't have any more to follow up.
Yeah, they're gonna come out here with the grab. Skalicious though has that overclock and is gonna find two of the players there. Skalicious is actually gonna go down, so there's an opportunity here on this next fight to actually take it, and that's another great pick. Meowth came in very clutch there for Deathwatch.
Yeah, and you actually see Kitsune actually having to back off. Don't want to get punished for that pick, so let Deathwatch get at least a little bit more point progression. As you see Termi finally stopping onto the Reinhardt. I mean, 3.5 minutes in and finally deciding to stop your tank after getting 20 meters of progression. Maybe a bit too late for it to really matter, but we'll see what happens here. Beat comes out and the Kitsune rush.
Oh! The wall blocked Kitsune Rush. It stopped it.
Oh!
And so, yeah, the Kitsune Rush hasn't went all the way. Outstanding wall from Pingu. Now Skalicious finding elimination onto Overmars, but Termi on that. Reinhardt now causing more issue for the side of Kitsune. Not enough issue as Deep yet again finds it, and that's the final fight. Can anyone touch? Yeah, it will be Pingu coming out there. Sorry, it will be Meowth, but yeah, gets taken out by Pingu, I mean. And, oh boy, Nightmare. Kitsune looked really good there.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, May's been out of the game for quite a while. I actually didn't know that's how that interaction worked with the Mayhem Hall. That is genius.
Yeah, maybe that is keying into an idea of maybe Mei will come into the meta now that she's back. The big return, because I mean, you see those TikTok guides that are meme and like people will say, oh, pick tank supports. Well, Mei is kind of like a tank DPS if you want to say it in TikTok terms. Which
I wouldn't.
It was just a phrase I never thought I would say. Because that wall creates so much space. That's the reason, you know. Like, it's such a space creation wall, and space denial as well is more important. Splitting up the team, but also to split up the Kitsune Rush. That's a completely, like, that's a huge ultimate, completely nullified.
Yeah, I mean that was huge. That was a huge denial, right? I'm pretty sure if that Kitsune Rush goes off the way it was intended to go off, you know, I think Deathwatch win that fight. But no, it was just cut off. Really, really smart. On the side of Kitsune, just did not see that one coming at all. And now Deathwatch, I mean, they're in a lot of trouble. I mean, it would take a miracle for them to hold this and take this third map.
Fire strikes being exchanged, but oh, very diligent Kitsune. They're going to be swapping their comp immediately.
Yep. I love to see that. I absolutely love seeing that kind of stuff. They saw it, and me like, okay, our comp, whatever we're doing, is not going to work here. We need to immediately swap. Don't waste any time. Don't waste 3.5 minutes before deciding to swap your main tank. just you don't need, you don't do that. You immediately figure, what you're going to do is not going to work, and it's immediate swap to what will. And,
Nice rotation
Yep.
there.
Oh, nice anti though.
Oh, the anti-nade, yeah, and with the Kariko though able to bless it, but no Kariko on that side. Deep has lived up to their name, went so far in, gets taken out for it, didn't work out for them. Yeah, Termi on this Reinhardt from the get-go, now looking a little bit stronger here and forcing the advancing team backwards.
Yeah, I think Deep got a bit thought they would jump into safety, only to just jump right into Termi's hammer, and just have to and the wall's down. So we'll go. Yeah, there's the shatter.
Huge shatter, followed up by a charge, gonna almost take down Bojack, but the amount of support they were getting when you have that immortality field is so huge. Now the amp matrix, yeah, you see Termi in a lot of trouble. The anti-nade there is going to maybe change the tide. I think actually maybe saves Termi there, and UBL finding Pingu. Very keen play there by UBL with that anti-nade. Shatter is ready, that is right, but they are down pretty heavily in terms of players.
Yep, reset though. With Bojack, we've seen how impactful they've been with the shatter already, so we'll see what they do. Here, Iceberg has a Kitsune rush. Will Pingu be ready to stop? Oh, the walls already been used. That's open the Kitsune rush.
Oh, the nano charge is going to find Pingu, but the shatter could equalize things here with Bojack finding it, but Termi with that nano in the back just absolutely tore them apart. There is a possibility now, Nightmare, that Deathwatch actually holds in here on the defense.
Well, it's almost that time of the year, Gio, for miracles to happen. And you might be looking at one right now. Overmars has that Blizzard, but Skadishus has Overclock. This is going to be close. I mean, this right here could be the deciding fight.
It could be 1 minute to go, roughly. Two team fights, big charge, the immortality field forced out early. That's pretty good, especially with this Blizzard coming out. The beat comes out to try and save them, but might it be enough? Well, no, Deep's gonna go down anyway, but the opposing Blizzard, that's Termi taken out. Skilicious finding Overmars. Meowth, though, with a nice equalization there on the Cassidy with that high noon, but maybe a bit over-positioned there. Pingu gets taken. Well, Pingu takes them out with an icicle. Oh, it suddenly went so wrong for Deathwatch. Do they touch here?
I mean, even if they do, I don't think it's gonna matter. It's only gonna be a desperation touch, and you have to imagine whoever does is gonna die immediately. Termi goes in. Oh, Overmars has the Bastion with the wall.
Yeah, they're bringing the Bastion out, and actually somehow Termi's still alive. Bojack will eventually take them down, and that's gonna be Mythical Kitsune here, finding that map. But shockingly, was it as one-sided in the end as you thought it might have been?
No, that was a lot closer than I thought it would. I think really smart from Pingu. Saw the Bastion, who obviously the main idea was to try and melt through that Reinhardt shield to give the rest of the team a chance. Brought up the ice wall, bought time for that Bastion to come out of turret form. And so once it's out of turret form, I mean, the Bastion was effectively useless in that situation. There's really so many individual plays on both sides. Well, Kitsune just, surprisingly, just barely edging it. Not surprising that I didn't think they would do it. I just didn't think it would be as close as it was after that first hold, you know?
Yeah. The Deathwatch almost shocked the world here. But as we head into a break, it is now Kitsune with the lead with 2-1. It's first to 4, best of 7. So there's plenty more action after this break. So do not go anywhere, folks, and we'll be right back with you.
System of failure.
Hello, and welcome back to a journey that we are undertaking here, as Mythical Kitsune has pulled up in front of Death Watch, taking the lead in quite an interesting showing on Circuit Royale, quite a dominant showing on the defense, Kitsune for sure. Did come close in the end though, but it will now be Push that we go to, as it will be Canada. Oh, Canada. That's right, yeah? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just don't sing the anthem again, but you are correct. Yes.
Yes. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not as acquainted with across the pond things. Well, this is an EU broadcast. We can make things wrong. We can do things wrong.
Wait, what are they gonna do, huh? They gonna call us out? Huh? Those Canadians that are definitely watching right now.
Uh-oh.
Now here we are on Push. Now as I was saying to you guys during the break, I don't like playing these maps, but watching them, watching these kind of maps in these coordinated environments is way more entertaining. Watching them how they had to play, especially when they those teams initially fall behind, how they have to just keep stringing together back-to-back team fights just to get them crawl themselves back into the map. There is no
Yeah.
kind of just reset. The point's going to be waiting for you there. If you're on a push on a hybrid or just a payload
Mhm.
map, the point's not going to just wait there for you. It's constantly in motion. You have to just constantly win your team fights just to have any chance.
Yeah. Three of the main pillars of a good story are character, conflict, and catharsis. And that's what you get with Push. You watch these players, they need to win multiple fights in a row, like you say. And if they do, it's the idea of if they do, that catharsis, that yes, we've done it, we've went against the odds, we've pushed through the mud, we're getting there, past the trenches. That's what makes Push so fun to watch. I find it fun to play. People seem to be back and forth in that one. But hey, I don't know. I don't know, man. But this is Deathwatch's map pick, right?
Yep. Didn't go too well for them last time, but
I know it's true. Mythical Kitsune, they're looking very dominant in the
it was
past.
so much better since that first map.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And even though Kitsune were able to beat Deathwatch the first time round, in that winners bracket matchup, it's still kind of expected, especially given Deathwatch's run through that losers bracket, just sweeping their way through it. You still have to figure that Deathwatch were the favorites coming into this, and map 1 lived up to that expectation. But seeing Kitsune kind of just roar back the way they did, really puts it tie in a very interesting position.
Yeah. And we saw some of that Fox's cunning with the adaptation of the team as well. So, it's really important, adaptation of these teams. And well, we'll be off to the races here.
Yep. We will see the typical kind of monkey come from the side of Kitsune, but Deathwatch going back to the Sombra and this time with the Zarya. So not gonna have that Orisa Sombra combo that was so prevalent for them on those first two maps. See what they actually do. Try to do the hack, gets it onto Ingu, but too much support there. They're gonna be able to get that pick.
Yeah, and Meowth of course offers a good sleep onto Bojack there, and the anti is going to come out. Iceberg goes very low, and UBL goes down to Skilicious there. Bojack, now up and awake, is tearing up the house. We've seen Bojack do so well on this monkey throughout this series, and nothing is changing yet. Oh, Kitsune are off to a good start.
Yeah, it was a nice sleep from UBL, but the rest of Deathwatch just seemed scared to do anything. They never once tried to affect Bojack at all, and then Skilicious just walks up, knowing that the sleep tower is no longer available, gets it with the anti, but it didn't matter, and Kitsune just stormed right over them.
Ooh, Skilicious getting a little low there, needs to back up. Bubble comes out, not getting what they want, and again, it's such a long cooldown now after the nerf. Zarya really needs to be careful how they use those bubbles over Mars. Took a lot of damage there. It's very close to that Blossom. Could be baiting here. It's going to come up big with it. Finding 2. Would have been free if it wasn't for that pesky UBL and finding Skilicious as well.
Yep. And now this was the point I was talking about earlier about Overmars on this Reaper, who had effectively been shutting out Skilicious on that first map. And now you see Overmars back onto that Reaper, and you can see why Overmars on this pick is such a scary idea. Just immediately pops off and wins that fight. Termi gets a pick. Zarya on the flank getting a pick.
Yeah, the flanking Zarya was high charge, found a nice right click, taking out that Kuriko early is a huge boon to them moving forward. And Meowth going to finish Pingu off there. Kitsune on the back foot. Deathwatch, they're starting to move forward with strength.
Yeah, Deathwatch is roaring back now after losing those first few initial engages. Now get that first point. We'll have those forward spawns, although I think they don't really do too much. Now has the ult. It is the grab. In comes the EMP.
Big grab. Oh, the beat. Wait, how? I'm so confused how that beat got out. How did the deep do that?
The beat was just in time before the EMP came out.
That is insane. Kitsune really need to be thanking on their knees their Lucio for that one. How that beat got off of the EMP coming out right before it is... I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Yeah, you can tell right away that there's not as much synergy between Meowth and Termi as there was between Meowth and Ronin. You know, there was always that when you had that combo between the Sombra and the Orisa, it was always immediate. They were right there. But you saw Meowth, there was a delay between the EMP coming out and the grab being used. It allowed Deep to get the ult off of right before the EMP hit. So those shields were there in effect. The EMP was effectively useless. Pingo gets that nice
shot. Yeah, that railgun right to the body there of Meowth. Back and forth still. Termi on decently high charge here in the 60s, able to be dealing a lot of damage, but he's gonna get blown up by their own right click. Now the butt scratch probably going to be secured here for Kitsune.
Yep, and now they will have the forward spawn. As Meowth just jumps in, gives away some ult charge there, and then walks back out.
Also getting some of their own, to be fair.
Yeah, okay. Well, how did that work out last time, Gio? Overmars does have the Death Blossom. Pretty effective last time.
Yes,
it's gonna be just as effective this time.
Yeah, that is what you call effective right there. Yes. Finding 3. Gonna be cherried on top by Meowth finding those eliminations, but forward spawns currently active for Kitsune.
Yep, and these two teams are showing exactly why this map can be so fun to watch. Just these constant back and forth team fights. Neither team really taking any sort of real advantage. See the gap between them, just under 3 meters.
Oh,
it comes down. Termi goes down.
Yeah, got melted there.
Off.
Oh, brother, Deep again in the kill feed finding Meowth. Yeah, I think there was maybe a bit of a miscommunication on the positioning there, as Termi was super far ahead of the rest of the team and didn't really get the support that they wanted there. And now Deathwatch, they're on the back foot again.
Yep, and at that time where Sorry takes down, you're really going to feel that whoever manages to get the string those a few team fights together is going to be the one to win it, because we do not feel like there's going to be enough time for comeback to be mounted should a major lead be established. As Bojack goes in, EMP comes out, 5 man.
Oh, huge! Yeah, 5 people landed with it. Now Pingu actually gonna find Meowth. Over Mars though is gonna find that big player of Deep. Delicious finding 2. Is it too late though? Yes, it is. It was a nice flashy play, but it's not gonna amount to anything. Kitsune, they're still not in the lead. Deathwatch still have a bit of advantage there. Basically 2 meters.
Yep, Meowth wasn't gonna let that beat happen twice. Deep, I think, was just only 1 or 2 ult charge away from having it. But they just get wiped off the map before it happens. Glitch is still get a few back, but all that's gonna end up doing looks like is just kind of wasting that ult. As
yeah.
Goes in but Termi is gonna walk right past it.
The way that they're positioned, they're not going to be able to touch the bot, and yet the lead is actually going to go in the way of Kitsune, despite the fact that they've just won the fight. Pingu has absolutely stolen the lead there from Deathwatch.
Yeah, bonus of time, because now Deathwatch are going to have to run that bot back, which is going to allow time for Kitsune to get those respawns back in.
Yeah, heist of the century.
Yeah. It's the worst feeling when you're winning a fight and you think you're gonna push that bot, only for the other team to send it running back the other way. Oh, you hate it, I hate it. Meowth goes down, and that's gonna open up for Kitsune to push the bot back in their favor.
Pingu with a massive overclock shot to the skullet of Termi is going to end that fight there, and Kitsune, they stole the lead, but now they have control of the bot.
This is absolute chaos. Neither of these teams has been able. It's a seesaw going back and forth, up and down the whole time. Pingu gets to pick on Meowth again, not having as much fun as Samba as they were earlier. As Overmars goes in, Cole gets chunked for a huge amount, has to walk right back out.
Oh, lots of pressure here being applied. The rush available from Iceberg, but Termi on the D.Va, gonna get taken out immediately there. D.Va does not have the damage output that she used to have in the patch earlier. An incredible TP by Skillicious as well.
Man, how unfortunate for Termi must it be that if this series had happened a day earlier, characters they're playing would still be fully relevant.
I know, right?
Now
Oh,
it comes down to the EMP.
the MP's big. Kitsune Rush joined with it. But Mythical Kitsune, they're still holding in fairly strong. Might need another ultimate from Overmars here to seal the deal. But Termi finding Skillicious might mean that no more ults are needed here. Bojack pending Overmars though. It's still very back and forth. And
They're pushing though.
Yeah, they're still pushing the point.
They're still pushing the point. They're still getting that advantage. They're going to get 100 meters before Death Watch are going to be able to stop them.
Oh, brother, what's happening?
Death Watch are kind of trolling. They're winning the fight, but they're not getting the objective, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. And
Yeah, the bait play, I think.
that's a few times now. Kitsune, who have been losing the fight, have pushed their advantage in terms of objective progression.
Uh-huh.
And Death Watch, they're on the cusp of losing a second map choice in a row.
Yeah, this could be really bad, especially with this Blossom coming out. Gonna find the Ana, now trying to follow up there on the Kariko. We'll find it. Overmars found Pingo, but it ain't enough. Well, you could count your blessings and say, well, you got the beat out there, but still, it's looking rough for Death Watch. Only a minute to go.
Yeah, I think like I said was true. There's too little time bank. That I think Death Watch. I just don't think they're going to be able to win this map from this position. They have not been able to string together more than one fight win at a time. As Omar is going to come in, Death Watch will come out. But only gets the one pick, and now you don't have the ultimate for that last fight. Should you get it? And they think they will get it, but they don't have such a massively impactful ult. It's all going to come down to what Meowth can do on the EMP. And even then, that might not be enough.
Absolutely. All eyes on Meowth right now. Really needs to get a big EMP off. Really a lot of pressure for this player right now. Needs to come up big here for their team. Engage comes in onto the backline. There's the EMP. Is it too late? They've lost their Ana. They've not got the follow-up. The EMP's not working the way that they wanted, and they've lost their Ana. They're still pushing the bot. They need to follow the bot, because if they don't, it's over. It's overtime. Pingu again finding Iceberg. No supports now for Death Watch. It's all but over. As Termi gets demexed also, and that is going to be Kitsune yet again winning on the map choice of Death Watch as they bring it 3-1 here.
Man, this is just insane. I mean, when you think about it, when you look back to Ilios, and you think that Death Watch only won that map because of the 99% to 100% comeback that they made on that first point, we could have been looking at a 4-0 right here. And Death Watch, we are watching a collapse in real time.
I said at the start, with this patch coming in, when it's coming in, we're going to see which team has adapted for it the best. And right now, we've now watched Trizaria twice and switched to Diva once. The characters that were just nerfed. Now, it doesn't mean to say they're unplayable, but in terms of meta compositions and what's really strong, they're not getting the same value. And if you've been practicing on the old patch, which you can only have done so, you're going to be playing these characters now, needing to adjust on the fly to what was just changed. And it's a tough situation for Death Watch, but maybe they missed some foresight here with this patch. I
mean, it's going to come down to it, right? The real question is, why did they sub out Ronin to bring in Termi? I don't want to sound like I'm being harsh on Termi. I think they've been put in a very difficult position. They're being brought in to play these other tanks. They played the Diva, played the Zarya on a patch that just came out that heavily nerfed those two picks. I don't want to come across like I'm blaming the player. It's just they've been brought into a very tough position, and I don't know what they're supposed to do when the two main picks that they've been brought into play were nerfed heavily going into this patch. And I know there was a big issue that stopped this patch from coming out when it was intended, or it was told a few days ago that when this patch would come out, Death Watch had the information that the patch would be coming out today before their series was played. They knew this was going to happen. You have to wonder why they've done the things they have done.
Yeah, and you can see it. Mythical Kitsune, their main composition that they found value with is that banana rush, what we saw a lot in Overwatch League, and of course they played on this current patch. And here's a little replay here of Overmars, who on Deathwatch is a keen player here. A little bit grayscale there, but
And I mean, when you look back on some of the real big highlight plays across the series, they've come from characters from that typical monkey rush. It's been the Reapers, it's been the Sojourns. You know, there were a few highlight plays from the Orisa Slumber working together, but the main plays have come from those picks, and that is when Deathwatch have looked their best. When Overmars is on Reaper, when they were playing more in that monkey rush style with the Kiriko, with the Lucio, that was when they looked best. And ever since they swapped off of that, ever since they've changed what they were doing, they've looked worse.
Well, Control is where Deathwatch got their point in the series. Now we're returning to Control, going to the Himalayas in Nepal. It is match point here in the semi-finals. If Kitsune win here, it is over for Deathwatch, and they're impressive, and it has to be said, their story is impressive. Undefeated in the regular season. They came in, they were sent to the loser bracket by Mythical Kitsune, but they were a shark in a goldfish pond, and they tore through everyone. And Deathwatch right now, they need to find that. They need to find what's been working so well for them here and really pull it from within their soul. And, that's really what's important here for Deathwatch, to really bring it out in this final moment, because at this point, it's a Neron reverse sweep that needs to happen.
Yep. I mean, it's do or die, right? Now,
Yeah.
the thing for Deathwatch is the way they have to look at it now. It's from here on out for them. It's a best of one. They lose a game, that's it. They're done. They're out. Their season ends here. From here on, it's just a best of one. You win the game that is in front of you. You don't think about what's coming next. You don't worry about what will happen after you win. You only focus on winning right here, right now. Because if you don't, well, whatever happens afterwards doesn't matter anymore for you. You know? It's all comes down to this. Okay, so
Absolutely.
this is it looks like they're kind of going for a bit of a mix of what they were doing before. But they have Termi now on the Orisa. That looked really good in Ronin's hands. Have not seen it in the hands of Termi. We have to see what they can do with it. But
Round one.
I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work. I honestly don't.
Yeah, both teams coming out on a yin and yang rotation, basically, away from each other. But this Bojack on the Reinhardt is able to control that point early. Wilmy got hacked there, but is going to save himself over Mars. Now on the Bastion again, we saw that on Parisio. This isn't new for Deathwatch, but how much it worked could be questioned as they're pushing forward here with the Mei. Mei coming back into it as well. That's another key factor. Yeah, and that Bastion can't handle a rush in its face, and now it's all coming down for Deathwatch as they're being torn apart by this classic brawl here with the Reinhardt. Kitsune, they know how to play this Rein.
Yep. And now we all come down to what do Deathwatch have an answer. We saw this comp from Kitsune on Circuit Royale. Deathwatch didn't have an answer for it then, and I mean, given that it wasn't played at all there on New King Street, I can't imagine they have an answer for it now. They're just sticking with it, just hoping to outplay them. But there's so much damage coming from collisions. They're just walking straight through it. There's so much AOE damage.
Yeah, UBL will find Skillishes in the end, but the damage has been done. Wall doesn't find its value, but at the end of the day, like, this fight is just going to be cleaned up here. Taking their time though. Pingu is going to find UBL. Shatter has been forced out though.
Oh, an iceberg.
The longer these fights go, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. At what point do you just have to wonder what are Deathwatch doing? You know, Like, they've not. I don't think they've even sniffed point so far on this. They barely made through the door. They're playing a kind of immobile comp, really, with what the main body of it is. You see the Blizzard come out, Orisa just caught on no man's land. They're just blown up. Oh,
Yeah, take it out there, and then the fire strike through
dear.
the window. It's not 200 damage anymore, but it's 75 times 2. That's 150 damage there still.
Yeah. And you look at that watch, right? And you see they have all 5 ultimates. And you might think, oh, well, they've been saving them. No, it's just there has not been a single fight where any ult that they use is worth it because they will just lose. The fight is already lost. There's no point in them investing ultimates. That is why they have all 5. See, Overmar's coming in. Meowth just ults the Baptiste and the sports to follow up on it.
It's actually stopped the beat there from Deep. This time Deep not getting that EMP off. I think mid-cast got EMP'd. That's a great opportunity here for Deathwatch, and thankfully they have been able to swap this point. Thankfully for them, that is, but the fight is not actually going their way too much, but Termi will shred it up.
But now the question is, they do still have the Kitsune Rush and the BAP window, but is that enough? Is that going to be enough for them to win this next fight, to allow them to rebuild those other ultimates that they just used? And honestly, I don't know if it is. The Bojack almost has the Shatter up. They're just going to run straight to the point. They're going to force Deathwatch's hand here.
Absolutely. There's that window opening up nice and early, but Overmars is actually going to tear it up, and that's without using that Kitsune Rush. So Deathwatch in a pretty decent space here. Overmars really stepping up here. That grenade stuck Pinku nice and early. Now Deathwatch are back into it. Here's the fight that we wanted to see.
Yeah, it was the combination of the Ant Matrix with the third form of Bastion. There was so much damage. The Reinhardt shield got cut short like it was paper. Just so much damage. I mean, you can't imagine the Kitsune saw that one, were prepared for just how easy they're going to be cut through, like a hot knife through butter. Squilicious gets a pick on the iceberg. That's Kitsune was down. EMP comes out, but is it going to be enough? Oh, Squilicious dead as well.
On my way.
Yep. Nope. I think so. Deathwatch, they are able to secure the fight. They're almost going to get it. The dash foot touch, they're going to try and come through. But it's not going to be enough. It's just desperation touches. The third form comes out. Squish is trying their best, gets the pick down. Bojack gets the pick onto Iceberg. Bojack goes down. Overmars is popping up. They're doing so much work on this Bastion. The ult comes out. Not exactly great, but it's perfect in this exact situation. Covering that point. They can't touch it. Tracer, the Bastion, Baptiste, they all go down. Overmars clutching it right at the very end. They did it. They reversed it. That is the one and only time. This is the only situation you'll ever see a Bastion ult actually be useful. Just swarming it all over the point. They could not touch it without dying. Oh man, I am sorry that last fight was not as it should have. I was not aware of what had occurred. But Deathwatch somehow turning it around. Kitsune, they're struggling on these control maps. Why does this keep happening to them?
I gotta say, like, the heart from Deathwatch there, I mean, it was so much heart that somehow my microphone had been unplugged. And that is why one of those fights I was silent, because I was casting to myself, sadly. But still on this Bastion here. And yeah, it really worked out for them, so.
Yeah. And Deathwatch, they're not done yet in this series. Yeah, Bastion doing so much work. Not going to quite get as much damage from range, but we're trying to play it safe. Do not want to get picked out just yet. Already down.
Bojack finds UBL. That's a big pick. Iceberg will equalize with Penguin with a headshot to Iceberg. Now very much in the way of Mythical Kitsune. Bojack taking a lot of damage though. His fight back and forth. Now the turret form from the Bastion deep and a lot of trouble. Somehow survives What a rascal! Oh, there we go. They found the bug repellent and took care of that rascally cockroach who will not die. Pingu, though, is an absolute exterminator here, finding Termi, and now Mythical Kitsune have a better grasp on this point.
Yep, but, you know, we've seen these situations before from Kitsune on these control maps. Even a 99% advantage to 0 is not quite enough for them to win in some situations. Oh, but Squishes waiting in the perfect spot. I don't know how Overmars didn't see it, but Pingu gets a snipe onto Meowth.
Oh man, Pingu is on another level right now with these headshots, and that's exactly what you want. If you lose that Sombra, you lose that hack, and yeah, they're backing up. Oh boy, this is some map.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how. Oh, Overmars with the ult. Again, not gonna get too much use out of it. Oh, actually it is Pink.
Yeah,
Pingu
Pingu goes down, and the Kitsune Rush coming out from Deathwatch also to help them move forward here. Bait from deep is going to sustain Mythical Kitsune for a moment, but it's not going to be enough. Terror Surge comes out also to find Wumi, who has also used that Kitsune Rush. Deathwatch, they're actually in a decent place right now.
Yep, but they're not in their 99% to 0 comfort zone. So maybe have unintentionally cost themselves this point. We'll see what happens. But Overmars, I don't know how they got pick onto Pingu with that ultimate. You think Pingu was one of the last people you expected to be picked off with it? Oh, huge EMP!
Yeah, the EMP finds free there. Deep was on 1 HP in a dream, but survived. Bojack going absolutely ape with the primal. Again and again, this player has shown himself to be such a good Winston, and the support lineup really helping them out there as a Mythical Kitsune. That was almost a mistake.
He does a little bit of trolling. Well, that's all over that watch. They invested the EMP and got nothing. They hard lost that fight. And then you see Termi swapping onto the Diva. Well, I'm not sure how much value it's gonna really get for them here. Overmars back onto the Reaper as well. Although we talked enough about how good they are on this particular pick. Oh, that's oh, Scalicious.
Yeah, baits it down.
Not very nice.
It's Overmars actually. He uses that opportunity to find Pingu. Pingu, a big player on the side of Kitsune, taken out of this one. Now the Diva forcing forward. That Kiriko goes down. Wumi not in it anymore. Deep gets hacked up and going to get taken out. As on 99%, well 98 actually, will be swapped over yet again. These control maps, Nightmare.
Yeah, and I think Scalicious got a bit too far ahead of themselves there. They invested that on a staircase when pretty much everyone else on the team, the only person who was even in range of that was the Diva, who was never going to go down to it. So really big mistake from Scalicious. We'll have to see if that ends up, biting Kitsune here. You see Overmars has that ult. So much work. Oh, but they'll get seen.
Yeah, it gets spotted though. Needs to return. Now, here comes the engage from Kitsune, but it's going to be right into a Blossom. The Bell's going to help them out a bit. But Bojack again finds Meowth. Bojack has just been an absolute superstar for the side of Kitsune. And the bomb comes out, finds nothing. Iceberg's not in this one. Almost had Kitsune rush, that would have been important for them. Bojack, yet again with the jump pack, finding another support. UBL this time. Getting the beat there from Deep to sustain this fight. Finds Termi's mech. EMP comes out. Can they follow up into Pingu? They do. Deep is low. No way they turned it around. Termi and Meowth absolutely turned it around 90%.
You're gonna win.
This is
Kitsune,
insane.
they only have the overhook and the Kitsune rush, but I don't know if that's enough. Because Iceberg has a Kitsune rush of their own.
Anyone touch?
Pink has to Pingu.
Oh no, that touch! Deathwatch back in it. 2 now in the series. Bringing it 3-2. What a map!
What did we just see?
I told you that was just heart and soul as Deathwatch is, but even finding the the value of the ult there from Bastion and
Man, that's crazy because I didn't even think that was the best thing Overmars did on Bastion on that map.
yeah.
I think securing that first point was the better play, but what is it with these teams and control maps?
I know. Yeah, control maps definitely seem to be Deathwatch's forte, for sure.
Kitsune genuinely could have had a complete clean sweep on these control maps, but Death Watch somehow called victory out of the jaws of defeat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This match is going... Well, this is actually how the last match ended for these teams. It was 3-2 in the winner's bracket. Now, maybe Deathwatch are going to say, hey, if that kept going, here's what we could have done. But it is the map pick of Kitsune now, so that is going to be the issue for Deathwatch going forward.
I actually think the bigger issue for Deathwatch is that no matter what map Kitsune pick, it's not going to be a control map. I think that's the real issue for Deathwatch. Can they actually win a map that isn't a control map? Because, honestly, the map pick itself doesn't seem to matter that much. I mean, Deathwatch can't even win on their own map picks, so I don't think it matters what Kitsune pick. It's all going to come down to, can Deathwatch actually just win a map? Because they have to, right? If they don't, it's over. Their road ends here. But for now, the comeback is still on. You know, they won their first best of one onto the next. And if they can do it, they can bring us to a game 7. But you have to imagine the momentum's going to be in their favor. And maybe Deathwatch can call their way back into being favorites in this series, which seemed impossible all 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, harkening back to their undefeated streak, Deathwatch, they need to really utilize that next level stuff, and we will be going to Germany now as we head to Eichenwald for our hybrid map now. Different setup to Parisio, isn't it?
Yeah, very. Well, actually, I say very. There is still very good high ground for the defending team, especially towards that second point. But I think it's quite different on that first point because it's a lot easier to just ignore that first choke point. And, you know, there's a few characters that can just, you know, just go right past it. You know, if you're playing Kafara, for example, you could just fly over that into your house, go right over, just completely ignore that choke point altogether, and then force your hand. Or, for example, the Sombra, which we've seen coming out quite a lot from Deathwatch. So, you know, that first initial point is a lot, like you said, a lot different from what Parisio offers, and I'm curious to see what these teams will do. They actually gonna go, wow, did I call it you? Did I get that right? They actually gonna go with what I said, just completely ignore that first choke point and just go straight for point.
Well, it could very much be what happens, and Termi is currently on a character who definitely is not in the meta right now. Hammond. Wrecking Ball.
The funny thing is, right, all 5 of these characters can effectively bypass that first point. All 5 of them can. You know, Wrecking Ball can just fire right through, and, you know, Kiriko can just TP to anyone who's on that point, so... Oh, wait a minute. This is an interesting hold here. They didn't expect it, but just going to be run right past them. Later, nerds, we're going straight to point.
Yeah, they went for the close hold, but Meowth actually going to get taken out. But still, this Far Mercy in the sky, there really isn't an answer for it. There's Woomy, but that's about it. Pingu does have the hit scan pellets, but if from a distance, can't really do too much. Now
they somehow 1v2ing the Far Mercy. What?
Yeah.
They've actually forced him away!
Yeah, somehow the rest of the team kind of had some trouble there, but Skalicious going down is going to allow the engage as Woomy will get taken out there by the swinging of the Wrecking Ball. They were not expecting the Wrecking Ball. This is definitely a surprise to the defenders of Kitsune as they're getting torn apart, and they will need to adapt here and deal with this Far Mercy because already the first fight is in their favor and they have Barrage.
Yeah, I mean, it was so smart, right? I'm only saying that because this is what I thought would happen. But they just completely ignored that first point. You know, they expected Kitsune to try and go for that hold around the choke point. Not exactly what happened, but they got the comp right, and they just ignored it completely. And it's worth out huge because Overmars is just destroying them right now. This has already been removed. They're supposed to counterpick into the Fire Mercy is already dead. So I don't know what Kitsune are going to be able to do here.
Oh, yeah, you see Meowth slowly building up that EMP Translocator taken out, which means Meowth is in a whole lot of trouble. Overmars is there though, ready to set up for this barrage. They've got the Mercy ult coming out. That's deep taken out. Skalicious, yeah, not dealing with the Far Mercy too well. That one player against 2 situation. That's not too great. And Wumi, they're getting torn apart here. They don't know how to deal with this Pharah.
Yeah, and you see Squishes has already swap picked 3 times to try and get an answer to it. They're onto the soldier now, but honestly, I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's going to be the answer for them either. As I say it, Squishes is already dead again. What is
What team
happening
is
here?
this?
Deadwatch are just steamrolling them right now.
I know.
Kitsune.
Who are we watching?
Kitsune is swapping picks left, right, and center. They don't know what to do. Bojack onto the Roadhog. I don't know. I don't think that's the answer either.
Oh, double EMP coming out there. Bojack finding elimination onto Iceberg. That's going to be an issue for the Pharah in the sky. Bojack on the Roadhog really stepping up here at the final moment and well stopped that point from being capped.
Oh, I mean, that was essentially like 3 straight minutes of Deathwatch pushing that objective. That's pretty much what it was. Pretty much from start to finish, they were pretty much always on the objective. And that is the first time Kitsune have actually been able to get any sort of stability in their defense. And I think the EMP from Pingu was huge. And I think that's what allowed them to get those picks. Oh, try to go for the C9. Oh, almost forced the C9 there.
Oh my god, that was such a smart play. Now the barrage is going to find Wumi. That was all a bait. It was a bait to get them into where they wanted them to be for that barrage. Now the Kitsune rush, maybe a bit overkill in the ults there for Deathwatch, but living up to their name, they do use them and eliminate the opposition. Now onto the 3rd point, the inside of the castle.
Yeah, it was so smart. Kitsune never saw it coming. They just saw the point objective. They all 5 of them immediately thought we need to get to that objective. And now opens them up to the Wrecking Ball slam right into the barrage. It was just a smart combo. And hold on, comes out a bit too far away now for the rest of the party, but does get the pick onto the Wrecking Ball. That is going to be enough to slow down Deathwatch. You will have to wait for that respawn. Oh, turn me actually back onto the Orisa now. No, I guess no more need for the Wrecking Ball, right? You've done enough. You've caused enough harassment. No longer need that pick. Oh man, this is. I mean, this is crazy. Deathwatch have come out of nowhere. Just get picked.
Yeah, Bojack's Roadhog has really been the pace changer here that Kitsune needed. They were struggling until this pick came out, and now it's working out for them. Forced to change onto... Yeah, Overclock coming out there. Mythical Kitsune not finding the eliminations with it yet, and that EMP will find 4 members of Deathwatch there. But the follow-up is on the other side. Yeah, that did not go the way they want. They had 4, but they did not find it. Now, Skalish is going down. Red's onto Overmars. Overmars has Barrage. The MP comes out, finds 3 key members there for Kitsune. The beat, though, from deep is going to keep them alive. But the Barrage comes out, tearing down that extra beat health. Overmars gets torn down. Very hard to play the Pharah in this inside map. Very back and forth in this fight, but Bojack comes up big again.
Point to point.
Oh, that was close.
Almost.
Oh, Terror Surge coming out. The shield, though, does block a lot of the damage. Wumi going low, going very low. Gonna get taken out almost, staying alive. Deep as an absolute hero.
Terror couldn't get it.
Yeah, Deep kept him alive.
Oh my god. I don't know how Deep keeps doing this on a Lucio.
I know. Such a star main support player for sure.
Wait, as you were saying, Gio, Overmars was struggling with that Pharah and that inside map onto the Bastion now. Still with the Pocket Mercy though, so it's certainly something to keep your eye on. How much damage I can pump out with that Mercy boosting it. As there we go, Meowth able to get to pick that turn we couldn't.
Yeah, a very, very keen pick here, and yet the Bastion is out in full force. Bojack on Primal, and we've seen what this player can do with it. Overclock from Skalicious, trying to utilize that space. Pingu onto the Tracer, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more Tracer. Yeah, the point was close. We only had to touch, and now the anti-nade onto Termi is going to clean it up. And yeah, there's a Tracer on the field right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was initially coming out just for contesting purposes, but Pingu staying on it does have that ultimate, although, you know, Tracer always someone's exactly had the best track record. As Meowth in the back and trying to get Oh, Omi knows. Omi knows that Meowth is there.
Yeah,
They're
you gotta be
doing it right
expecting it. Yeah, immediately drops with the
Yeah.
unquote.
What?
1 minute
Squishes
to go.
down the handle.
Oh, Scalicious goes down. Pulse bomb
oh,
couldn't
good
find
kill.
what they wanted. And the EMP is massive there. Bojack going very low. Very low. Still alive. Deep. Still in it. Maybe get this beat off, but they won't touch
They just walked off.
another force out the point. Oh no.
It's been teased that whole time, but the scene finally does come true in the end.
At what point is it the curse returning nightmare?
I think it's already there.
The G9. Oh no. I've cursed it all.
I mean, it's happened a few times already, Gio.
Yeah, it's rough, but you know that was very keen because that beat was ready from deep. It did land, so they would have had the beat, and it would have hit Bojack, and that's a lot of health. That's a lot of time wasted. The supports could have came back, especially Woomy, and that could have got them to at least 0 in the time bank, which is important in hybrid. But there's still time in the bank.
Yeah, there's so many little things that went in favor of Death Watch at that end. You know, the pick on the Scalicious, only getting just getting picked off, not picked off, but essentially removed from the fight by Meowth. You know, forcing them off the high ground. They were no longer supplying heals in that fight. Pingu with the Tracer Bomb, not quite getting the kill onto Bastion. There were so many of those small things that was going in favor of Death Watch, almost as if they're destined to pull this one back. And now we see my dreaded Junkrat coming through on Overmars on one of the most, almost gotta be one of the most infuriating chokeholds to try and get through it. I mean, Junkrat's going to do so much damage, and you see Kitsune, they're not going for the Fire of Mercy. They're going to try and break through this chokehold. They just have to try and go straight through it, which into the Junkrat. I mean, Overmars gotta be licking his lips at this idea.
Yeah. You've got to be thinking, you'd be careful of that spam getting through there, but if you catch someone out, that is big. Woomy and Deep went a little low there for a moment, but gets the healing done. That was a lot of damage. On to Overmars. Hermie being stayed up. It's the trap that finds Woomy. That's not what you want to see.
And that was just nerf too.
Yeah, that was just nerfable. It had a little bit of a tweak, I'd call, but Hermie is going to go down. That's an opportunity made now for Kitsune.
But the res though from Iceberg gonna be coming through though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. That's the thing. The picks don't matter as much because the Mercy's there.
Oh well, actually no.
Oh,
Jeremy
wait, no,
didn't get
wasn't
res.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you
sorry,
res?
Jeremy just respawned normally.
Oh, what?
Um,
Iceberg, but I think that's a mistake actually.
And now UBL gonna go down to Bojack. That's a lot of healing gone. Now Iceberg needs to be careful on how to utilize this healing. And now that I think about it, I'm not really sure what the birthday gives here in this composition. Well, it gives the res at least. UBL's back in it. Immortality Field now available. Overmars very close to this tire. Could be something that they use. Could be a Terra Surge tire is maybe what they're looking for, but they won't get it if Bojack eliminates Overmars. Pingu coming up big as well. And yeah, slowly but surely, a little bit slower than Deathwatch, but still a good attack there on first point from Kitsune.
Yep, you see Overmars actually just swapping right onto Reaper. Not even gonna bother using the tire because that character is useless. So the Overmars is swapping onto the Reaper now, a much more effective DPS character. Most people watching are not going to understand why I was saying for Junkrat, but we'll see what Overmars. We know what Overmars can do. We already know what it is. Forcing out the Winston ult. Not going to get too much value out of it though. Not even going to move anyone off.
I think booped Termi there, but Termi is a tank, able to stay alive, very sustainable. Oh, what a jump from Bojack to follow Iceberg. Outstanding play from the Winston. Termi tries to equalize by finding Pingu, but still Kitsune have the advantage in this fight. And they're not finding those picks or Deathwatch. They're kind of struggling. Kitsune Rush actually coming out. Very brave Terra Surge, but it does force the beat. Massive EMP from Deathwatch, looking to turn it around. It will be Overmars finding Woomy. Bojack though getting the tank differential for that moment. Scalicious finding UBL. Deathwatch, they've invested that EMP and Terra Surge. Now the Blossom, but all to no avail. Kitsune, they held in.
Yeah, I think a part of that, Bojack had the shield, the Winston shield, and Overmars was just outside of it, so there was a ton of healing being prevented from the Death Blossom, and Overmars just gets picked off without getting any value. I think it might be the first time Overmars is Death Blossom without getting a single kill. It tells you just how close the game has been so far. Overmars onto the Cassidy now. And when he gets to pick his revenge onto the Delicious.
Yeah, Overclock, I don't think can even bring this one back. Yeah, this change from Overmars immediately got lots of value there. And Deep is going to get taken out also. Now, 2 minutes 40 in the bank. You know, it's starting to look a little tough here for Kitsune.
Yep, and I mean, they haven't even really hit the toughest part is not to take. That third point. It'd be very hard to take. Just ask Deadwatch. They had wasted, I think, 2-3 minutes trying to take it on their attack. So, if Kitsune gets stuck here, I think it must be irrecoverable for them to take this map.
Very well. Could be. Deep climbing those walls, looking for a boop onto Termi, didn't get it. But now they've rotated onto that high ground, forced the Immortality Field from UBL, which is an opportunity made. You see Bojack going in deep, got the Primal Rage coming out big, but the Valkyrie is going to try and keep the team alive on the side of Deathwatch. Now going DPS for a bit, but yeah, maybe to the detriment of Overmars, who got taken out there, didn't have the healing from the Valk. Termi can't handle the damage from Skilicious there. Oh, going for some spy checking. Meowth actually going to get out of that. Been playing Hitman, obviously knows how to get out of it, and this could be a cap here. I don't know if there's a touch.
I might find it hard to believe that. Yeah, they're not going to be able to touch. Gonna give it up here.
3 minutes.
I mean, 3 minutes. That's pretty good. We'll see what they do. Although that watch, you do have a lot of ultimates up. Bojack might go down. Oh, he's able to get out. Oh, Deep is not going to be able to. Oh!
Omi equalizing, but there's that insta revive there from Iceberg. Nicely done to Terrence. Oh, Nightmare. I love seeing it. Every time I see it, I'm in love with it. Oh, it's outstanding.
Yep, it's just a beautiful combo. There's that synergy that had kind of been missing between Meowth and Termi. Finally coming out there in force, winning that fight. No other ults needed. Because those two will just win you any fight. And that's important because now Overmars does still have that high noon. We'll see what they can do on it. Termi, very close to going down there. Very nice immortality for UBL, but the window comes out. Skilicious!
An aggressive beat coming out, but it's not going to work for Skilicious. Gets taken out immediately with using that Blossom. Kitsune rush on the attacking team's side, but it is working out for them slowly here. The defense on the back foot. They need to touch here. They have the Valk, right?
Gonna be close. They have to run the point.
Yeah.
We'll just get it. The overclock.
Meow. Very close to going down, and Pingu finds him. Pingu's such an outstanding DPS player. Of course, needs to check for that resurrection. Termi on point, but Bojack tearing it up with the Primal Rage, as we've seen time and time before. Absolutely juggling UBL away from the situation. Termi trying to hold in there with Iceberg healing them, using that Mercy movement to the absolute fullest extent that they can, trying to stay alive. Error surge from Termi's huge! It finds two! The Bastion's back for Overmars. This could be turned around on its head. Deathwatch have held in here. What an outstanding defense! Nightmare, what on earth?
I can't believe they managed to hold that. Termi with another huge Orisa. No EMP required. I mean, they could win the map off this now. Almost could go down. Oh, almost. You had to think. Overmars could get the ult up for this next fight. We know how vital that could be, especially when the opponent's forced to be somewhere. They do not want to be. But Termi goes down. Oh my God!
That's huge. Overmars down as well. That's a massive, massive boon here for the attacking team. In fact, they will cap it there with 19 seconds. We're going the distance on Eichenwald.
There were no ults. They just got the picks. Termi just goes down. There was just not enough healing. The Reaper was just doing too much damage. Oh my God. This is for Deathwatch's tournament life. If they don't win here, they are out. They are done. It is going to be a rematch between Kitsune and I've forgotten their name. I think it's Feeders in the final. Oh my god.
Oh, brother.
The only thing this map is missing is the score to actually be 3-3.
Yeah.
This isn't even potentially the last map.
Oh man, like I am still speechless at that defense from Deathwatch, and like that's what brought it to this point where they do have more time now. It's not a lot of time, but that's a team fight, right? Roughly a team fight is 30 seconds in Overwatch, so they've given themselves an extra attempt here on their own attack, but it will be Mythical Kitsune coming out first, and they've changed it up a bit.
I like the Symmetra pick here. And I like it with the Mei, because those turrets deal so much damage. And when you actually look at Kitsune's comp, there's not exactly anyone who's particularly well equipped to deal with those turrets. There is no Winston to deal with those turrets from their positions. They're gonna do so much work here. Oh, never mind. They're just gonna work right past it. Never mind. The wall was not there.
Meowth got caught out completely.
What's their positioning?
An icicle right to the skull. The res though has equalized here. Now it's a defense with a bit of an advantage. Termi finding Skilicious. Meowth coming up big here with the turret, finding Womi. And it is going to be the defense holding in for the most part. But Pingu turns it around on 6 HP. Get your Glock out, Mercy. It's a 6 HP. Someone melee him. Someone do something to Pingu. He's on 6 HP. There we go.
Symmetra pick is coming up huge here.
It really is. Can they touch? It's going to be deep. Skilicious in a lot of trouble. Needs to use that ice block. It is going to give them some time. You see Bojack now on the Winston as they're re-engaging into this fight. Going deep with that bubble. The bubble's a very keen ability here. Immortality Field forced out early, but Termi finds Skilicious.
Oh, the point.
That's a big issue there for the side of Kitsune. They're falling apart. The defense holding strong. And here's with the final breath, Meowth opens up a massive wall in the favor of Deathwatch. But this fight is still going. And Meowth back in. Iceberg, a massive reses here. UPL, never mind being a support, absolutely DPSing the opposing team. Oh, that's a win condition and a half for Deathwatch right now.
The Meowth, the Symmetra pick was genius. No one would ever have seen it coming, but my brother would be so overjoyed seeing Symmetra work so well there. The turrets were doing so much value. The first initial turrets didn't, because they just walked right past them. I thought they were going to hold a bit closer, like use the Mei wall, keep them trapped in between, let them be poked down, but they just ran right past them. But the turrets on the point, no one was taking care of them. They were still doing damage incrementally that whole time, and Symmetra was, for a large part of it, just left unanswered. And we know how much damage she can do when she gets that beam going.
Ready for battle.
And what? Here's the thing. That one tick that Kitsune have could be everything.
That
could be everything. That could be the difference maker. Because it forces that what they have to win the fight. They have to win the fight. I know it sounds silly, but you know, this isn't going to be a reverse case where if Kitsune hadn't gotten a tick, if Deathwatch could just force them off the point for long enough to get a tick for themselves. You know, it comes down to them having to win the fight. You know, you're not going to be able to just force them off for long enough for you to get the win, right? Well, it looks like they are just going to... Oh, the Pharah and the Echo, they're doing the same thing as last time. They're just going to ignore it. They're going to go straight for that point.
Kitsune haven't really adapted to it though. They have the Sojourn this time, but that didn't really work in kind of nullifying what was happening. That was a big opportunity there for the South Deathwatch with that Stomp. Meowth on the point, needs to watch, but Pingu with that railgun proves why this pick was valuable. Takes out Overmars. The res though, completely uncontested. Again, Iceman advantage here in the player count. There's the pick. There it is. Deathwatch bringing it 3-3. The match is nuts.
Oh my, what a comeback this has been from Death Watch.
Is this the save?
This is
I don't think.
yeah. Wait, no, it's not. This is like the 4K.
This is the EMP one. This is the EMP one. Yeah, it comes in.
Oh, beautiful.
It's EMP.
Oh, I didn't notice at the time, but he actually timed that to drag the Winston back in as the Winston jumped, so Winston couldn't jump back out of it because he was pulled back in during his own jump.
Very nice. And there's a reason why I hyped it so much at the start of this match, right? You're seeing it. It's free to free. Deathwatch versus Kitsune. Deathwatch looking to get vengeance in the semi-finals against a team that sent them to the losers bracket, that made them work so hard to get here. It's free to free, but Kitsune, they want to prove that that wasn't a once in a lifetime thing. They want to prove that is just the way it is, and it is match point here. Whichever team wins next is going to the finals. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been. I mean, because like it wasn't even some halftime team talk either, right? Because the first map after halftime, Deathwatch lost convincingly. It's I don't know what has happened to this team, but they are just pulling out all the stops. Overmars going through their DPS catalog, coming up with anything and everything they can to keep their team in this series. Terry finally popping off. Man, I guess we might have the only team who has two very confident Arista players in their roster.
Yeah,
it's Termy.
Wonderful stuff. I mean, like, to prep both tanks to play Orisa. I'm not familiar with the coaching lineup of Deathwatch or if they're self-coached, but I have to say, like, it's well played how they utilize the Orisa more than anyone I've ever seen. And we will be ending this one. Well, I mean, you can technically draw an escort, but it's the most unlikely thing in the world. We will likely be ending it on Dorado.
Hold on. Do we have a scenario in case that happens?
Probably going to push.
Okay.
Probably. We'll see. But it won't. Like, this cannot...
Hey, you never know. This series has been so close. We very well could have.
That is true. Man, like... I'm not over it. Like, the fact that they have Termy and Ronan, two very capable tanks, but, like, you gotta give it to Bojack, who's been here the whole time. And... on the Winston,
Bojack has tried.
Yeah.
Bojack has tried. I mean, they've all tried, right? I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm discrediting all the other players who have been there from the start, but I mean, Bojack has really. It took them a bit to find a group, but once they finally started finding what their comfort picks were going to be in this series, they have been very, very good.
Like, this is it. This is map 7. This is where it's decided. This is who goes to the final. This is all on the line for these teams. And have a little look at what we're playing.
Yeah, so you see Overmars back onto that Farah with Iceberg on the Mercy, but I think more interestingly, Skadish's on the Ash and Pingu on the Tracer. It's gonna be very interesting to see. They might not. I mean, Skalicious didn't have too much luck against Overmars on the hit scan. Oh, does find a good chunk there. See what they could do is Pingu might get spotted. Sees Sombra. We'll spread that information around to their team, you'd imagine.
And there's that pinging, very important to scout with the Sombra. Oh, there it is. The pressure. Overmars finds roaming
before it happened.
Yeah, Overmars continuing to get a value on all these DPS picks. What a flexible player. Has played on so many different, like, niche picks and has really shown up. And continuing to find Pingu. Deathwatch looking good here in Dorado.
Yeah. But you have to wonder, what is the mental state of Kitsune right now, right? I mentioned before that Deathwatch, they were in best of one mode, right? They had to, it didn't matter what the scoreline was, they had to win whatever the next one. And now they forced Kitsune to be in the exact same position. Kitsune 20 minutes ago, they would never have thought this was going to happen. And so, what are they thinking right now? Because right now they seem to be all over the place.
Yeah, they've got the Roadhog, they've got the Ash, and yeah, Deep has actually been forced onto the Mercy now for the first time, not on that Lucio. Got the res there onto Skilicious, and that is going to... Yeah, it's going to enable Overmars to go down. Pingu following up on the res of Iceberg.
Oh, they just clutched it out right at the very end with 2 meters to go. Oof. Couldn't be closer there. But I think the Deep onto the Mercy, which I think it's the first time we've seen him on anything other than on Lucio this whole series. Well, with a huge play there, reviving Skilicious to after they lost that initial 1v1. Well, 1v2, I guess, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
oh no. No! Oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. No! Not on map 7! No!
Nightmare, I'm sorry, the curse, it followed me. It's not over. The G9s. Everywhere I cast, I bring C9s and they're called G9s. Oh, brother.
Okay, no, this is not your fault. This is entirely Kitsune's fault. Deathwatch have been trying this nearly every single map they could since map 2. If Kitsune are not ready for this, that is their own fault. It's not like there has not been a precedent for this in this series multiple times. That is entirely on them. That is shocking. That is
not
shocking.
in a map 7, and in the final map of a 7-map series, that's not what you want to see at all. Skilicious on this high ground with the Bob, but all ults are ready from Deathwatch.
I mean, you have to say it's borderline inexcusable, right? At this point, at this stage in the game, let that happen when there's been so many examples of it happening. It's just ridiculous. Jack just trying to get the pick onto Wrecking Ball. Pingu trying to chase him down, but no, he's not able. We'll have to rewind back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now it's just been such a menace in his back line. Not even entirely like getting any actual picks. Right? It's just been such a hassle. The EVs have to constantly be looking over their shoulder for that next hack to come in on them.
No.
All comes
Stepping
in.
up.
Oh, didn't the same combo before?
Big slam finds Woomy.
Need it.
The res could come out, but so can the barrage. Right onto them, raining down. Too far away to get the value, but no, never mind. Will find the Mercy. Bojack still alive though, could be a menace, but is going to be dealt with a hack. Needs the backup. Tracer in the back line. Pingu trying to take out that Wrecking Ball. Termi backing up for the time, but they're still pushing the car. Deathwatch, they still have the advantage in this one, but they still don't have Meowth. Meowth was eliminated. Watch out for this hook. Oh, misses it. Needs to back up here. This fight, it's back and forth, but the Falcon gets taken out by Bojack. Oh, this is a disaster. Deathwatch on the back foot now. Woomy gets hacked up, but it doesn't matter.
Yep, I think with Kitsune, they've recovered from that C9. They're trying to hold on. They're doing a good job bringing that time back down inside Deathwatch. Well, Deathwatch, they have some really big ultimates up. See what they can do with it. By the way, Gio, I just looked back on the stream. That C9 is even more greedy than I thought it was. It's even worse looking back on it, genuinely.
Well, they can make up
for
it.
Down.
The res.
Wait,
the res was cancelled.
No. Oh no.
Well,
that's disastrous. They might not even get
Oh,
Meowth down.
Oh, but Pingu. Yeah, Pingu finds Meowth. That EMP can't be done here. Meowth going down early is bad here for Deathwatch. Overmars, though, will equalize into finding Skilicious. They need to utilize these other ultimates, though. But Overmars going to go down to Bob. Res. Cancelled. What's wrong with those reses? The reses are cursed right now. Bojack gets the hook onto Termi. And in a fight,
no, these ults from Deathwatch not using any of them.
It's 4 ults and none were used.
That is a huge mistake from Meowth dying to Pingu like that. A huge mistake. This should never be happening. I mean, I don't think it's going to cost them because Deathwatch, I think they just have too many ults for Kitsune to handle. But it's just the amount of time that they're wasting. There's the EMP coming out. And they follow up. Could it go down again?
It's very deep. The follow-up's difficult. The whole hog comes out. There's Overmars with the barrage now. But right into Bojack's face, we've got the nano. It's going to be tough. Woomy goes down. Now Bojack stands with Pingu. The last remaining remnants here. Pingu will go down. Bojack's still alive. It's final fight territory right now on second point. They need to cap. Bojack coming back into this one with a hook onto Terra, but that's a great minefield there to block the road. Bojack can use the healing though and walk through it. Oh, deep. No, that's not what we want to see. Bojack gets hacked up, taken out. He's trying to keep it alive. Pingu on the point. Needs to back up there with the recall, and somehow Pingu's still on the point, but will get taken out, and they will cap the second.
Oh, that was really good from Termi. I know it was just as simple as just placing the ult, but that ult in just the perfect position, just stopping. You know, Bojack may be able to walk through, but the rest of the team sure as hell can. And Bojack could do it to go down again. Yeah, the healing is not enough. Somehow, the Roadhog Mercy healing is not enough to deal with Overmars on this Pharah. Who'd have thought without an anti-heal you'd ever see some Roadhog Mercy not heal enough? That is insane for me to be saying.
60 seconds remaining.
Oh,
Big
nice
dynamite.
Oh,
Overmars! What an evade with the coach from Skalicious. Outstanding skill play there. And blocking the res as well. Termi though trying to equalise, but Robert being a good boy, finding Iceberg on the back foot. Death Watch, they need to regain control here.
Oh man, that was a sick outplay by Skalicious. So sick, he forced Overmars off of Pharah. Overmars is done, he's embarrassed, they don't want to play anymore. Don't know how to get off of that pick. And actually, Iceberg onto the Moira now. We've seen this a few times in kind of desperate situations for stall, but never actually
Massive
seen
EMP finds 5! Gets the support line immediately. Outstanding follow-up onto it. Now they're looking really good. They're moving that point. It is going to be an overtime, but they will look to cap this one.
Death Watch.
Yeah,
Kitsune
absolutely.
Kitsune have nothing.
Oh my god, let's go
God.
Kitsune.
Oh my God.
They don't have the ultimate gain. Skalicious now is the one on the Tracer. Pingu comes out in the Genji, but he's nerfed into the ground and eliminated into the ground also. Bojack onto the Diva. That's a panic pick, but the bomb comes out, finds nothing. The remake finds nothing. They will cap it in overtime. Oh my lord.
This has been a series of the highest and possibly the lowest caliber. This has just been so ridiculously back and forth. I don't know how Death Watch have found it within themselves to pull this series back to where they are. They are in a fantastic position to just win this series. They just have to hold. Doesn't matter where they hold anywhere. They are winning. They are going through to the final. They will get their revenge over Kitsune. They will complete the comeback. And the fact that is what I am saying in this spot would have been inconceivable not that long ago. But that is the reality that we are faced with right now.
I am beside myself. What an outstanding semi-finals match. And for the first EU, section of Tranquility, just goes to show there are players all over this world ready to take it the distance. And oh my, are these two teams definitely full of those players. This defense, they will be sticking with the Far Mercy.
Yep, we'll see what they can do with it. But on the side of Kitsune, have Pingu on the Ashe and Skalicious on the Echo. You know, kind of that old Overwatch counter to Fire Mercy. We'll see what Skalicious can do on it. It's weird that you see the two of them now. Oh, Termi goes down! Milk goes down!
Oh my lord, what's happening? It's a disaster!
Oh, pause.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That's not what you want to see. That's not what you want to see in your final map in the map 7. That is not what you want to see at all. Oh no. But
no.
Maybe that goes to show what happened there. I mean, I think Termi got slept. I saw Termi get slept and then got chunked down by the Diva. I don't know if that DC had anything to do with the death. It didn't look like it from my perspective, but I don't know.
No, I don't. See, the thing is, I don't think. I mean, there's nothing they can really do about it, right? Because I don't think you can't just. I don't believe you can just restart the map from this position. So I think it's just going to be something that They watch have to do it. You know, it's happened. I think they were losing the fight regardless, but
Yeah.
you know, it's unfortunate. You hate to see it. You really do. But realistically, I don't think it had that much of an effect. I think Kermit was going to die regardless. I think the rest of the picks were going to happen regardless of whether Kermit DC'd at any point in that, whether he DC'd or not. So, you know,
Yeah.
I think the question is how, like, what are the comms now in these two teams right now? You know, I love to hearing what they're talking about right now.
I've been in these situations myself, and I'm sure many of the viewers have as well, where you're in a pause in a tournament match and you just start saying everything you see on your screen.
Yeah.
I think, thankfully, I think it's probably good that the fight's pretty much over, because if it's a mid, obviously you don't want a
Oh, if it was
mid-fight
mid-fight,
pause.
it would be disaster. Awful.
Yeah, obviously you never want to see a mid-fight pause, but you know the way that Kitsune played into that, you mentioned it, the picks that they chose was perfect for taking out what Deathwatch was playing, and if Deathwatch don't watch how they adapt, then that could be a big issue.
Yep. I mean, you had to wonder now. Just had to think over my swaps off the Pharaoh, right? Because they would. I mean, like I was saying, Echo was the counter to Pharaoh Mercy, right? Like we've seen plenty of times where Echoes win that 1v1 without a pocket Mercy of their own, right? They can just still win that, and they win it, you know, a lot more often than they don't. So, and when you combine that with the fact that they also have an Pingu on the Ash, I don't think Pharaoh is a tenable pick here. There's just too much fire being focused at her, and it's going to be way too consistently hit. So you have to imagine Overmars swapping, and especially when you consider how often Overmars swaps. It's very surprised not to see them stay on the pick.
Yeah, Over Mars is definitely, you know, a fan favorite, and probably a favorite of both of us. I mean, such a flexible player on the DPS, like comes out with the wackiest picks sometimes and gets it done, which is, you know, great to see, and especially in, you know, a tournament environment. You want to be flexible, you want to be adaptable. Adaptability is the important, you know, key aspect of the things. But we are going to go to a brief break while we fix these technical issues. In this break, I'm going to call Aaron Keller and we'll see what happens. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
And hold my hand, fly with me. And don't be scared, 'cause we are gonna live in the sky. Are gonna live in the sky. 'Cause we are gonna live in the sky. Are gonna live in the sky.
Hello and welcome back. Right back into the action, right where we left off. You love to see it. The energy is still there. It's the final
Yeah,
map.
okay. Everyone, come back.
Win or lose.
Back. We're back on. Thankfully this happened right at the end of a fight, so you know there's a bit of a break. Your team can come back, recover, and all that. But oh, Bojack, gotta be careful. Oh, you can still get picked off. Oh, there you go, out of mech.
Ooh, yeah, take it
right
out
up.
there. The adaptation from Termi onto the Diva as well. I really like that. UBL getting that baby Diva. Overmars swapping over to the Cassidy. Amazing adaptation from Deathwatch is what you need to see. This Cassidy working it well. What can't Overmars play?
Torb.
Oh, they're probably a really good Torb.
Torb plays himself. He almost doesn't have to do anything. Well, I think I said, I mean, it was pretty much impossible for Overmars to stay on Farah with what they're facing. And now you see Kitsune. They're making no adaptations. See Pingu onto the Sojourn and Squidge is back on Reaper. A lot of adaptation coming out here. I like this. I love to see it. Oh, wait, did they know? Okay, they're aware. Overmars is watching the back. They're aware.
Yeah,
No.
I think they know that they're under.
Baiting them! Baiting them! We're going back to point. Bring around to Rosie.
Nice bait. A hack onto Scalicious could create an opportunity here, especially with the EMP follow-up. Finds 4 out of 5, but Meowth is the one that gets eliminated for Cassidy. Finding that Sojourn there in Pingu. Scalicious finding UBL. Bomb comes out, doesn't find what they want. Remake will damage Bojack enough to get the follow-up, and defense currently holding in. Looks like they will continue to do so. Dueling Scalicious in this small area, it's a bit of a tough thing to do against a Reaper, but damn, this is a prolonged mid-fight here.
Yep. Respawns are coming back in for Kitsune. Bojack is back. Well, Overmars has the ult. High Noon, not exactly the best ult since they maybe extend time on it. We'll see what. And you get the pick.
Finds Bobby! Huge pick! Huge pick, but deep again in the kill feed of a boop. Overmars goes down. Big beat there from deep. Keeps the team alive. Bojack finding UBL. There's a bit of a res that went on there fighting Overmars, but I think the damage has been done. Although the Magnet finds deep in an act of vengeance. But there we go. 3 minutes free in the bank on that cap.
I mean, you gotta think though, right? On the side of Deathwatch, given how that first fight went, the fact that they were able to hold on for as long as they did, and you're not looking at like a 4 or 5 minute time bank on the side of Kitsune, you'll take it. You'll take that.
Yeah,
But
truly outstanding.
Kitsune have nearly every ult except Deep, who had a really nice ult there. Pingu with the pick. I mean, how punch you me in the face?
Pingu with that elimination there onto the head of the Cassidy, but the equalization was there from the opposing side. Now a bit of a stalemate fight going on. Bomb sent up, not going to find anything, but Pingu's Disruptor Field finds Termi in the baby form. That is a ballsy res from Iceberg, and it works. And Overmars gets the pick onto the Blossom, and all of a sudden, it's not looking so good here for Kitsune. That res that happened in the middle of their team got away with so much.
Well, Kitsune, there should never let that happen. How are you not just killing that Mercy right there? He's rezzing in your face. You have to kill them. They had no other protection. Overmars was busy dealing with Scalicious in the back with the Death Blossom. You have to kill that Mercy. Now it has the EMP coming out. It's a big tree. Pingu goes down.
Finds Bojack low, but getting that bubble's huge. Meow finding Pingu is a good pick, but without Termi in the mech, it's a trouble. Deep again in the kill feed, finding Overmars. That headshot very keen, and again with a boop. The absolute goal of Lucio gameplay right here, going so deep.
Pingu gets picked on Iceberg. There's no res. Oh, get the TP's away. UB out doesn't want any of that. But he's gonna get some anyway. Hit deep. What is? How is this possible? That is insane. The rest of the fight didn't even matter. We were just deep, doing so much work in the back. I mean, I guess we know your healing's passive, but it lets you do stuff like that, right? Oh, did we do Geo again? Okay, Kitsune Rush comes in, glitches. Almost goes down. Does go down! Wait for him, didn't save them!
Oh,
we couldn't get the heals
Termy.
off.
Yes, Galicious. Termy coming up big in this fight. Pengu gonna go down. Meow. Death Watch. They're looking good here. We're under a minute, Nightmare. Under 1 minute.
I mean, this is so tough for Kitsune. They have not, ever since they took this point, they have not found anything. No fight has been really going in their favor. When you're relying on deep to get you picks just to go even in a fight, that is how you know you are struggling. And you see Termy has the bomb. What can you do with it? Overmars also has a high noon. You could try and combo this, distract them, force their direction one way. Bojack goes in on Overmars.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush didn't go the way that they wanted. I think I'll booped onto the low ground. High Noon comes out, doesn't find elimination, takes Wumi low. Termy though, finding deep with a bomb, that's huge. This could be all over here for the attacking team. Very low amount of time. Oh, can anyone touch? It needs to be deep, I think.
No way, there's no way. There's 10 seconds and they're all just respawning.
Go on, Go. You can do this. The goal of Lucio gameplay. Can he get there in time? He touches. I think just in time. No, it wasn't.
No, he did it.
And there you have it, folks. Death Watch are your winners in the Discord tier EU semi-finals with a map 7 win, and they're the man, the myth, the legend, Overmars with the play of the game here into this EMP. An amazing series, an amazing final map. Oh. The outstanding gameplay. Outstanding gameplay.
What a comeback from Death Watch. Just absolutely insane. But I tell you, the real MVP of this one is opponent map pick. No one won on their map pick. No one.
Wow.
From
the brink, Death Watch were against. It was 3-1 for Kitsune. Now Death Watch, they've brought it 4-3. They have won the series, the comeback of the century, and they have secured their place as they will be heading to the grand finals now of the Discord tier. Oh my lord, what a story for Death Watch. And yeah,
Neither of the teams captured the first point. Neither of them did it. They both had incredible defensive holds. Eichenwald went to overtime. Neither of those teams were able to cap that first point. It just came down to a matter of single-digit percentages. Ilios went all the way. I think nearly every single one was 100% to 99, or close enough to it. You know, it was. I don't think you could find two teams more evenly matched than these two.
Yeah. Yeah, I said at the start this was going to go the distance, and well, it definitely followed up. Kitsune were the ones that gave Deathwatch their only loss in this Discord tier, and now Deathwatch have avenged themselves. And now they're looking to the grand final, and Deathwatch, if they're able to do it, it's the story of the century. They fought through the losers bracket to get back into this position, and it is beautiful to watch. But yeah, there's plenty more Tranquility playoffs to go in the following weeks, folks. But this is the end of this amazing production. My voice, it feels like it's going to go because this was such a good match. Thank you, Nightmare, for joining me.
Yeah, it's truly been a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you, Hippie, for producing and observing today. Of course, it couldn't be done without our producers. Thank you for those that watched along. Thank you for the team's condolences to Kitsune, but congratulations to Deathwatch. Looking forward to see you in the finals. Don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.
Mm-hmm.